And I'm Guy. And this is your home for everything Alberta Independence, broadcasting live 6 days a week, twice daily, Monday through Friday at 12 noon and 5 p.m. And I think next week, Sunday through Thursday, we're going to have an interview releasing every single day. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes, exactly. We have everybody from Critical Compass to Max from Freedom Calendar to who else? Chris Scott, who we've been delaying his interview, unfortunately. So finally, I'm happy that we were able to release all of those because, yeah, we're so lucky. Everybody has been able to say yes and have had wonderful interviews and amazing things to say as well. So look out for those. But first of all, thank you so much. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please do remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. Also, we try to read all your comments live. Today, the Unacceptable French is coming on, so maybe we might not get to all of them. But
not coming on this channel. No. He's coming on at 7.
That's 7. Sorry, my brain's not working today. But if you really, really want us to read your comment and you feel so inclined, you can always super chat. We pause the whole show for those. And also, we've just opened memberships, not to put anything behind a paywall. We want all the information to be out there. But if you'd like to support us on a more monthly basis, then you can join there. There's only one level. So thank you so much to everybody that has gotten on in the memberships.
Well, and I will say that we've been up since early this morning. We had a lot of interviews, and usually we take a nap between shows. Yes. We had no time for a nap today. It was go from early this morning. So tomorrow we just have one live show. It's going to come on a little bit early. It's going to be on at 4 p.m. because we have something to do at night, but it's going to be nice to have a little bit of a relaxing day.
But yes, and expect on Sunday Chris Scott's interview from the Whistle Stop Cafe as well. Yeah. Very interesting story there too. Hello, Lyle Norman says, let the weekend begin. Yes, for everybody. Glenn Gunn says, good evening, Nat. And Guy from the very sunny and warm Alberta City, Calgary. Good. I'm glad that it's getting warmer now.
Well, of course, it wants to warm up right after we get the petition signatures.
Exactly. Glenn Gunn says, great news from Jason Levine. Sounds like the petition may get through. We'll know by Monday evening.
Yeah, I've been hearing good rumors come out as well, even before that Jason Levine rumor. So with him confirming it, he usually has some good inside sources. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very hopeful at this point. I hope I'm not disappointed, but man, if that thing goes through, there's going to be a lot of happy people in Alberta and outside of Alberta as well.
And a lot of crybabies trying to claim we're Russian, what else was it? Were you from the US? We're AI was another one, propaganda. All of that's going to continue to come and probably even harder. So get ready for that too, but countering it always with positivity and the forward vision of an independent Alberta.
Well, and I will say there was a ton of Danielle Smith news coming out today. We grabbed a couple of it for the breaking news segment. I think most of tomorrow's live stream should be about Danielle Smith because the online is just flooded with clips. She had all kinds of things to say, like about the most important issues that people want to hear about as well.
And Justin GP, hello, and says, hi y'all, happy Friday night. Happy Friday night to everybody as well.
Yeah, you as well.
And that's it. I think.
Yeah, we're gonna
Let me check if we have any more on RUMBLE. No, if you didn't know, we also do stream live concurrently on RUMBLE. You can always go there if YouTube, for some reason, decides to start censoring your comments.
Yeah, let's get into breaking news if we can, and it's going to be Danielle Smith.
I did something with my thingy, and now it's no.
Well, it was set up for the interviews.
Yes. Let's go to breaking news.
Extra, read all about it. Extra, read all about it.
And starting with, of course, Danielle Smith meeting the snake. Jason James says, quote, I told you Alberta Oil and Gas is going to be central to Carney's Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Well, and what I'm saying is he's putting this together with the 30 by 30 plan and the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and eventually he's going to federalize a lot of natural resources. Once he has access to those natural resources, I think he's going to start accessing them in mass. It was very interesting, this clip, though, because you hear Mark Carney stuttering and stammering around his words, and then Danielle Smith talks, and she sounds more like the premier than he freaking does.
Welcome back. Thank you for making the time. We've been meeting and talking over the course of the past year, and I have to say, very pleased with the progress we've been making. We have more to do, which is why we're sitting down today. But just thinking back, the cooperation agreement on regulation, so that one-stop shop on regulation, the methane agreement, of course the MOU, which we're building off of, the enhanced oil recovery measures that were in the update, a series of other areas where we're working to make Canada work better for Albertans and for all Canadians. And when Canada works well, it's good for the world. And I think you probably
And we can pause it there for a second. We're going to show the whole clip, don't worry. But this is Mark Carney trying to sell a pipeline to Albertans, saying, I'm going to solve your economic problems. And he's just smuttering and stuttering over his words. Everybody knows there's so many strings attached and regulations, nobody's buying it. The issue here is when Danielle Smith starts talking, I think she can put lipstick on a pig and sell it to some non-politically informed individuals. So it could be a little bit of a worry, I think.
I'm sure you did. I certainly hear it when I go around the world and meet our partners that they want more Canada and more Alberta. So, alors, je vous souhaite la bienvenue ici. Il y aura des discussions très importantes, mais il faut reconnaître le grand progrès que nous avons déjà fait ensemble pendant la dernière année.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We've had some really constructive conversations over the last number of months since the MOU. Still have a few things to work out, and I hope that we can get to the finish line on signing that MOU. I know industry is getting a bit impatient. Albertans are getting a little bit impatient. And if we're going to move forward with that MOU, I hope it happens in the next number of days, because I think in Alberta, there does need to be a demonstration that Canada can work. And I think that we've demonstrated a couple of things over the last number of months that we can work well together. We've changed course on a number of things, and Alberta wants to continue to build major projects in partnership with the federal government. So we're looking forward to seeing if we can make some progress and get this to the finish line. Track
record's there. I'm sure we will. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Handshake. Yep.
My God.
Track record's not there.
Well, that as well. I mean, what I'm saying here is this is about so much more than a pipeline. I predicted it right from the beginning that Carney was going to be throwing a pipeline at Alberta. I'm sure he is at this point. I'm also sure his long-term strategy is to federalize Canada, take away sovereignty from provinces, and start taking natural resources through the 30 by 30 program and protecting the land. There's going to be layers of regulations that are going to come on top of that 30 by 30 program. It may seem like you're getting a deal in the short term. Let me tell you, in the long term, you're going to end up with nothing. Migrants are going to have all the jobs. And what's the point of the pipeline at that particular injunction?
Exactly. And also not being, and we continue to say this, not falling for the whole, it's all economic problems within Alberta. That's why people want to separate. That's why the narrative that they'll continue to trying to build, that it's all about economics, it's all about pipelines and business and the restrictions and blah, blah, blah. But it's also about a lot of the cultural issues and the way that Canada has essentially turned towards almost full socialism on the path towards communism, and everything that has also impacted education, healthcare, everything else that they don't want to talk about because they know that they can't fix because it's a Canada problem.
We got to focus on the economic issues a little bit here because they're going to try to pitch it as they fixed economic issues. No, you gave an illusion of a pipeline, meaning even if it goes through, there's so many strings attached, very little of that money is actually going to make its way back into Alberta. A lot of that is going to go to increased regulations and carbon taxes to the federal government, which increase year after year after year. One pipeline isn't going to cut it. I would say one pipeline and a goodie bag of natural resources contracts still aren't going to cut it. There are so many things wrong with Alberta, and we really need to start paying attention to what Danielle Smith is doing so we can start counter messaging it.
Not wrong with Alberta, wrong with how the federal government has treated and left Alberta at this point.
Okay.
I said there's many things wrong with Alberta.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, there's a lot of news. You're tired. As you mentioned, there's a lot of news about Danielle Smith right now because also from Juno News, quote, Premier Danielle Smith says she is a lot more confident in recent years that Alberta can advance a proposed pipeline to BC before submitting it for federal approval.
Again, she's going on this tour, pitching everything's roses and sunshine. I can only imagine when the deal actually goes through, how this is going to be pitched to non-politically engaged individuals. So we really need to start focusing on the economic shortfalls of this pipeline deal, as well as the cultural issues.
You were feeling much more optimistic about the dealings with the new Liberal government. I saw that you had visited with Mark Carney while you've been in town here. So do you still have that same opinion, or where are you at these days?
Well, I was feeling less confident before I saw the Prime Minister. I'm feeling much more confident that we are going to be able to finally land the MOU, and to do so before we submit our proposal to the Major Projects Office for a new pipeline to the west coast of BC. A lot more confident.
You were feeling...
And I mean, she is a firecracker of a politician. She can play both sides. As long as she has that October 19th question on that referendum, she can really walk the line of democracy. It's very interesting to watch how skilled of a politician Danielle Smith is. If the Canadian system wasn't rigged against conservatives and conservatives weren't fleeing the country in mass, I would say Danielle Smith would be the next Prime Minister of Canada, even before Pierre Poilievre.
Oh, yes, way before PP.
That being said, the system is rigged against her. So leaving the door open to her in a new, free, and independent Alberta needs to be an option here.
Yes, and Portofino over on RUMBLE says BS. But I will say, and I continue to say, let's judge her by her actions as well. She can say and might not be able to say a lot of things because of the federal system that she works within right now. But if she lets democracy continue to run its course, if she lets democracy shine by letting the citizens finally get that question answered, then I would say, okay, if we judge her on her actions in that, then she'll be doing pretty well and she'll be making history.
Well, I say BS to it as well. She's pitching federalism to the people of Alberta. A lot of people trust her. It's going to be an uphill battle to pitch independence against her. And that's really, she's becoming it's very interesting because she's becoming the main opponent of independence and the main friend of independence as well. It's a very unique position that she is in. We need her for that October 19th referendum. If she wants to pitch federalism and nationalism, as long as she puts it on there, I'm willing to go play politics with her. And hopefully on the day of the 19th, when that vote comes, we can win the people's hearts and minds.
Mm-hmm. And hello Christu says, hello dears, Alberta Independencia. Yes, Independencia para Alberta. Okay, I'll go over to YouTube to read all your comments. David W. Carlson says, hello again. Hello, thank you for being here. James Halliday says, I hate that guy. Carney, he is 100% evil. And he can't even talk because I think there's so much BS coming out of his mouth that it just trips up on its way out.
Well, and the problem here is she wants to say a sovereign Alberta and a united Canada. And the issue is Carney keeps talking and all of his framework is built around taking sovereignty away from provinces and building a strong federal government. This is what I expect to see over the next 3, 4, and 5 years. I mean, if Danielle Smith is going to pitch the fact that Alberta is going to get more sovereignty, yeah, maybe in the little bit of short term, but we all know what happened to Quebec. They gave them what they wanted, and then they never gave them the rest. So don't trust the federal government. And I say, even if Danielle Smith does get the question on that ballot on the 19th, we're going to have to work against her, at least politically, to pitch independence here.
Mm-hmm. And Glenn Gunn says, pipelines will travel south, nowhere else while Carney is there. Unless he manages to federalize everything and then he wants to start production and ramping it up.
I don't know. I've kind of disagreed with this from the beginning. I said right from the beginning, he was eventually going to give a pipeline and natural resource contracts. They think this is economic and only economic. Mark Carney gathered a lot of his cabinet together and he said, we need to take this seriously. I think him coming from an economic background as well, him taking it seriously and looking at the poll numbers, he's basing this around economics. And if he can throw a pipeline at it to get rid of the independence movement, I think he's more than willing to do that. I don't think that's enough, and I don't think it's going to do it. It's definitely not going to do it for me. It's not going to do it for a lot of other Albertans as well. And we have to remember, as important as the oil and gas sector is, a lot of people in the oil and gas sector have common sense and they want a better future for their kids and grandkids. And one pipeline doesn't do that.
No. James Halliday says, freedom from this BS liberal values. Liberal values are Yahtzee values. And yes, I mean, they're National Socialist values.
I don't know what to say here. The more I watch conservative politics, it just seems like the more they're coming together in this freaking uniparty. And I didn't want to believe it before, but every single day, that's what it seems. And then it seems like the conservatives make big promises right before an election and then never deliver on it and actually vote against a lot of the things that they promised in the run-up to those elections.
Thank you so much, Stephen Jensen, for the $5 super chat saying, for someone so smart, it pisses me off at how stupid she is being with Carney. I just don't get it. She must know that he is effing over Alberta.
That's the point. I mean, she is so good at this game. She has nationalists in the palm of her hand. She has independence people in the palm of her hand. She's in the most important position for both groups. So, and I think she's going to be able to appease both groups by making sure the question's on October 19th ballot, and then she's going to pitch federalism. And we keep saying there's no reason for federalism, and I agree when I watch everybody else, but it seems like Danielle Smith is the only one that actually knows how to pitch it because she knows the other side.
Glenn Gunn says no one will invest with the taxes and carbon taxes. No, of course not. It's a pipe. It's literally a pipe dream.
Well, there's one person that will invest, and that's the federal government's going to put it through. So they're going to have the illusion of this pipeline going through, but there's no permanent investment money coming in to build a much larger infrastructure for multi-generational success. It's not going to happen.
Lyle Norman says she shouldn't even talk to Carney. He is a donkey. Everybody knows he's a dictator. Donkey tater.
I will say this. I don't know what Danielle Smith is actually thinking. She's positioning herself very well to be the leader of the Conservative Party one day. But by the time she gets in there, because I really think they're going to try to install a Kinney or a Doug Ford after they somehow axe Pierre Poilievre, that's not going to go well because there's going to be a huge uproar from actual Conservatives. Then they'll put Danielle Smith in, but the country will be hollowed out by then. She won't have a heartbeat in hell to win a federal election. It's so rigged against Conservatives the way the system is built. Plus, hundreds of thousands of Conservatives are leaving every year. She has a much better shot at running for the first president of an independent and free Alberta if the question goes forward and we vote yes in the referendum.
Yes, when Alberta becomes independent. Sean says, fudge sunshine. That's funny stuff, guy. Did you say fudge sunshine? I think maybe he just tripped over a word.
I probably tripped over my words. I'm tired today, but I'm going to keep going. We're going to get it done.
Now you can start using that.
My neck is hurting too. I slept on my neck wrong a couple of days ago.
You're still complaining about that.
Oh my God.
Shaw says, nothing says Alberta more than Carney speaking his awful French translation at the end.
Well, he's got to make sure everybody knows he speaks French. So when he fires all the people that aren't being loyal to him for not speaking French, he's got a good excuse.
Don Adelac says, good evening, Nat and Guy. Sure is here in Edmonton. Hi, everyone. Hello, and great to know that it's nicer over there, too. Glenn Gunn says, if he agrees to a pipeline, he will lose a few MPs, then he loses his majority. I don't know. I think he has to pretty much buy the...
I think he's got to buy the balls, and I also think he's going to be looking at a supermajority if he can stare down an independence movement. I don't think he can win the vote, but if he does win it by giving pipelines and natural resource contracts, he's going to hollow out what's left of Conservatives in Canada, and that's going to lead to a supermajority. I think he knows that, and I think maybe, just maybe, he is looking at the polling, looking at the signatures and say, I got a pretty damn good chance at that. And if I win that, I get a supermajority and I have a mandate to federalize Canada at that point and turn it into a globalist hellhole. That's why Alberta independence is so important. And it's so important that we stay focused on the goal here.
Warren Peace, I like that, says, with a political landslide in the UK today, do you believe more hope exists for an independent Alberta? I will say the landslide is interesting, and it's an interesting situation right now in the UK because, yes, Reform did pretty well, but Restore Britain also did pretty well or better than a lot of people were predicting. However, Reform UK did the same thing that Conservatives are doing in Canada. Yeah. They went for the appeasement and Islamification, I will say, of the party itself.
Well, they have no choice because they've already lost the critical mass of people they needed to have actual hardline conservative policies. They can no longer pitch those because they've been flooded by mass immigration. Alberta still has that critical mass of freedom and independent-minded people. That's why a vote for independence is so important to have now before a larger mass of mass immigration kind of comes in. Sorry, I'm losing my words there.
But I will say that, again, because of exactly what you mentioned, there is right now is that opportunity for Alberta independence. And I do think, again, if we are able to strategize and campaign and actually go into the campaign with the positive message of Alberta independence, but also knowing how to pitch that message to different demographics that we might even think that they're not in the bag, like that we could never get them in the bag. And then because we do concentrate on that, it could be even better than I think a lot of people expect. I will say a lot of people don't want to believe that poll either from Rebel News or from mainstream media. I don't believe the one from mainstream media either. But be it if it's wrong or if it's right, it's better to think or to act as if it was right, and that we do need to gain a lot more support.
Okay, let's stay focused on the question here. And the question is there hope because there was a landslide in Britain? Absolutely not. They're playing within a rigged system, just like Canada is playing within that same rigged political system. It's the exact same sandbox, just cookie cuttered and brought over to Canada. That's where the Canadian political system is from. That's why we need an independent Alberta, so we don't have to play in that rigged political system anymore. We voted Conservative for the last 93 years in Alberta. We can create a good long-term vision for what we want in the future without having to undo ourselves every few years.
Lyle Norman says, yes, Nat, he is a donkey tater. That's what we can call him from now on, instead of Carney. Glenn Gunn says, you said that very right, Guy. I don't think Daniel will ever go federal.
I don't.
He
Read that
doesn't
again?
think that Danielle will ever go federal.
Oh, to be the leader of the Conservative Party, or?
Probably, I guess.
Okay.
Or go with the federal lists. That's what it said. I don't know.
Well, she's already said she's kind of on the side of the Federalists. So, I mean, I think she's pitching federalism and she's doing it better than anybody. I mean, there's nobody else freaking doing it. She has the best pitch for federalism right now, but she's also making sure democracy rules the day by making sure that question's on that October 19th ballot. She's doing a hell of a good job playing both sides at this point.
James Halliday says, sucks when you go to bed fine and wake up hurt. And Glenn Gunn says, welcome to old age. Yes, Guy, welcome to old age. He knows.
I'm having trouble turning my neck.
That happens to me more often than to you, and you always make fun of me. So.
I know. And
You should go get an Advil or something.
No. Let's continue on.
Doug Ross, thank you so much for supporting us monthly and joining the memberships. It really helps us out. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's the first day we kind of put memberships out there, and we appreciate everybody this morning that supported us as well.
And now Doug Ross too. Thank you. Sean says, I saw that interview, so I was surprised you used number dates starting with the day. I thought Canada was like the USA month first. No, the USA is the only weird country that does the months first, and that's confused me ever since I was little. So it's annoying
You're
to
still
me.
little. In real life, it looks like we're about the same height. She's
Here on screen.
She's much shorter in
I'm
real
pretty
life.
short, yes. I'm about 5'1", 5'2".
Yeah.
Glenn Gunn says she won't ever go for the leader of the PC party. Oh, that's what Glenn Gunn meant, that she won't ever go to be the leader of the Conservative Party.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it would be political suicide for her because Conservatives have no shot in Canada anymore because literally Canada's hollowing out. We left. Hundreds of thousands are leaving every single year. We've been kind of showing the statistics. That's why I'm so black-pilled on Canada, and that's why I'm not black-pilled on Alberta, because there, again, is that critical mass of not only Conservatives, but freedom and independent-minded people that are hardworking and understand they want to take control of their own destiny in the founding of a new nation.
Yes. Okay, now let's go into...
I'm going to get an Advil real quick.
Oh, no, but then what do I do?
Go ahead. Go to the next section.
Okay. But now let's go into Alberta Stay Free to see what's going on as we head into the campaign. And also, there might be... Oh, wait, there's more comments. Oh, no, there's not. But also, yes, let's go into Alberta Stay Free.
She falls apart without me, guys.
And starting with...
Okay. By the end
This
of-
is gonna, I mean, if the Advil is gonna take away your neck pain, this is gonna give it right back to you. Alberta Proud Dad says, Naheed Nenshi, caught lying again. Surprise, surprise. The man literally is truly pathetic and a disastrous so-called leader. I can see him having a fit on his staff over this like a child.
This was an absolute hilarious clip. When I seen it, my jaw dropped. It was an absolutely fantastic cut when they had his before and after reaction.
Because here's the thing. The Premier has proven herself to be a foreign agent by accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. She'll never get her clearance.
A few moments later.
Funny timing, because you were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you said the Premier won't be granted security clearance. I am writing an article today about how she has been granted.
Oh,
her
has she really?
security clearance, and I
Well, you know, geez, I hope that the people granting the security clearance really dug into her connections with foreign governments. But good for her. I hope she'll use it well, and I hope she'll tell Pierre Poilievre he ought to get his. Because here's the thing. The Premier has proven herself to be
And that security clearance is literally a trap because now she can't talk about a lot of issues. I actually like Poilievre's stance on that, on not getting the security clearance. That's how the Liberals are really pigeonholing a lot of Conservatives into not talking about very specific issues in detail.
Yes. He's a funny, weird-looking man.
Well, there's another clip where Danielle Smith actually responds to him. I grabbed it for tomorrow's show, and man, she just is running political circles around him.
And that's hard to do because there's a long way to go when you're trying to run around him. But Tom Dienz says, quote, "United we stand, divided we fall. 5 pillars to unite the Alberta independence movement: executive accountability, judicial reform, legislative and constitutional reform, individual property rights, and economic prosperity." Yeah,
and I like this, but I think we need to even simplify it down even more into more simplified language and more simplified points. What do these actually mean? Make it extremely easy to understand. A lot of people aren't going to know what you mean when you say judicial reform, stuff like this. So I think we just need to simplify it down a little bit, but I like the 5 points. For somebody like me, I can understand it very, very easily, but for non-politically engaged individuals, I think it's going to go over a lot of people's head and they might not pay attention to it.
But again, I do think that this might work for some people, and looking at not just having one way of doing things or one way to campaign or one way to give the message, but looking into what kind of messaging and messages work best for X, Y, or Z demographic or age group. And that, I think, will give the most success, and not getting bogged down in, no, this is the one way we have to do it. We need to do it this one exact way. And during our second interview today, a good point came up that the fact that it's a grassroots movement and that it's pretty decentralized does allow for that flexibility, and that is an actual good thing.
Why don't you tell me who we interviewed?
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Well, okay. So we interviewed Kathy Fletch. She's absolutely amazing, and we were really happy to be able to speak with her. And she brought up this point that because it is a grassroots decentralized movement, the messaging can be very different and done by different individuals as well that might connect better with X or Y audience.
Well, we have an interview with Nadine as well as Kathy coming out. And I say those two women were the two smartest people that we had interviewed, head and toes above everybody else.
I mean, no shade to nobody else.
Including to, and both of them were far smarter than me as well.
I mean, that's not that hard.
Well, I know that. But where was I going to go with that? What she was saying about a decentralized leadership. I was actually on the other side of that coin before I talked to her. After talking to her, I think having a decentralized movement without a leader, she convinced me of it. And she convinced me of it because she's been in this movement for so long, and she's seen how leaders have really been the downfall of the movement in the past, where they were able to target leaders and centralized organizations. So within one conversation, Kathy was able to flip me on one subject. So very interesting.
Yes. And also, you were talking about this clip the other day. Rebel News says, quote, "We were outside a government-funded refugee hotel doing a story when we noticed a man getting into a brand new SUV. We asked him how he could afford it. It turns out he used to live in the hotel. Now the government pays for so all of you pay for his car and all his living expenses, your tax dollars at work."
Well, and this was an absolute fantastic clip. The guy didn't drive off. Rebel News just kept asking the questions. He kept answering the questions. The number one issue in both Quebec and Alberta's independence movement is mass migration. Stuff like this is absolute gold for us. We need to spread it around.
When's the last time you were able to get a car all bought and paid for by other people's money, with other people's money?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Okay.
Good. Do you stay in this hotel?
Which one?
Do you stay here?
Stay here.
No, I want to stay there. I was stay here.
Oh.
Now I just rent my home.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a refugee, sir, yourself?
Yes, of course.
Oh, where are you from?
I'm from Ethiopia.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
And did you originally stayed here, you said then, right?
First I was here.
Okay.
Then I just rent my home.
Okay, then you were able to find a job then and you can pay the rent?
Yeah, I don't still have no job. But
Oh, okay. Then who's paying the rent, sir?
is it are you a journalist?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you recording everything?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you ask me first why?
Oh, well, I thought we're just having a conversation here. I don't mean you no harm, but I was just trying to get answers about who's staying here and where they go afterwards. So You have a home, and I guess is the government paying the rent for your home?
Of course, yes.
Of course. Oh, okay then. Where is this home located? Is it in Pickering?
Yes, it's in Pickering.
Okay. All right then. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, sir. Good luck. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Very interesting.
Of course, yes.
David Minzy was smart
Of
enough.
course, yes. That's the thing. That's the infuriating thing.
Well, David Minzy was smart enough to ask, "Is the government paying your rent?" And he said, "Of course, yes." And that was the most revealing thing of the entire. I think I wouldn't even call it an interview, but
Conversation.
just conversation. I guess they're moving them out of these migrant hotels. They're moving them into the city and paying their full rent. Absolutely ridiculous.
And he has a brand new car with that's kind of the car I wanted to get,
That's
but I can't. So good for him, I guess. Maybe I should have applied as a
Well,
refugee.
that's the government. That's the car the government got him.
I'm sure you got to pick it though. But Marty Up North says, quote, this Alberta pro-immigration group is already set up as a third-party advertiser. They already have nearly 7,000 supporters, and says our Alberta Advantage, scrap the discriminatory referendum, stop Premier Smith's scapegoating of immigrants.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for them. They're going to pump a lot of money into this organization. We
And
know,
others.
I've talked about the strategy from the federal government that's going to be coming. They're going to fast track thousands upon tens of thousands of people with PRs and turn them into citizens so they can vote to stay part of Canada before this referendum happens. And this is the organization I think one of the organizations they're going to pitch it through.
And let's not forget that a lot of people might come out and say, oh, that's racist and you can't say that. And the federal government wouldn't do that. That's conspiracy theorists from racists and traitors. Let's remember that Paul Plamondon came out to say that during the last Quebec independence push, they did this exact same thing and they were able to prove it afterwards. And that is one of the gripes that the Parti Québécois has, even on their own platform and website.
Well, let's talk about this. Number one, there's two things we got to do about this. National conservative content creators are starting to come around to Alberta independence. If we can get them to take that last few steps to firmly get behind Alberta independence, they can pitch it to national conservatives across the nation to move to Alberta to vote for independence. If they're independent and freedom-minded individuals, that will counteract anything the federal government's going to do with fast tracking PR, number one. Number two, we need to get Quebec to start raising their voice about their own independence movement, because their independence movement is an identitarian political movement about saving the French culture. So if the federal government tries to call them racist when they raise their voices, it's only going to push more people to vote for independence in Quebec. So it kind of nullifies the ability for the federal government to use to start slandering people with the racist term, whether it's in Alberta or Quebec. But we have to make sure they can't silo one movement so they can use certain arguments here, but not over there.
But now we'll go into your comments and then we'll move on to the Alberta Politics section. Glenn Gunn says he's the worst idiot that was ever in office. More than Trudeau. I mean, he's scarier. He's worse than Trudeau in the terms of he was actually the one moving the strings behind the puppet that was Trudeau. But
I think Trudeau was ideological and Carney is a pure globalist. And that's why I think it has nothing to do with green energy, carbon, anything like that. It's more about filling people's pockets with these carbon taxes and making the citizens actually poor and impoverished, so he has massive control over them. I believe he's going to use the 30 by 30 program to take control of lands on a federal basis, and he's setting up the other mechanisms he needs to put the profits into certain accounts.
Oh, Glenn Gunn says, I meant Nenshi. Oh, yes, he is an idiot.
Both
he is the worst idiot that has ever been in office. I do concur with that one.
Well, but he's a useful idiot for us. That's the thing.
True.
Carney's smart enough. He's going to throw some pipelines at Alberta and think that's going to fix it. It's not going to fix it, but it's going to make our efforts for independence a lot harder on us, because a lot of non-politically active people are going to think, oh, he fixed the economic issues, not realizing the strings that were attached with it.
And I think that's why that might be one of the very important messages from the campaign season.
Well, and he's got Danielle Smith selling it for him. That's the problem. If it was Carney trying to sell the pipeline on his own, it would be very easy to kind of show what's going on behind the curtain. But Danielle Smith is a lot more politically savvy, and she seems to be on board with selling this idea. And the problem with Danielle Smith is I don't necessarily want to get on the wrong side of her because she's the one we need for the October 19th question to get on the ballot. So what I say is game on. Let her pitch nationalism to Albertans. As long as she lets the question on the referendum, I'm willing to play politics against her.
Sean asks, Nat, what's up with the Z? Canada spends far too much energy in trying to be a really crude country, 5,000 miles away than its cultural, economic country right next door. It's weird. Well, and again, in Canada, they do have the metric system and they use the U in color. I'm guessing it is from the legacy and the Commonwealth legacy that it retains. I say Z because I went to a British school. So that's my part of it. But yeah, I don't know. What do other Canadians have to say on this? Or Albertans, I guess, have to say on. Would Alberta adopt what's the other one called? The imperial system?
Oh, I don't think so. They've been using the other system for far too long.
I know.
So
will you drop the U from color? It's color, and there was another word that they have a weird U on. I don't know. Justin GP says, and I don't blame the refugees themselves. I blame the government for allowing this to happen.
Absolutely. But we also have to realize it's going to continue to happen. Yeah. Even if Danielle Smith says she's going to put it into it, there's going to be, once Carney starts taking federal sovereignty and starts pushing legislation down a lot of these provinces' throats, there's going to be no way to stop it. And all the jobs in Alberta are going to be prioritized towards refugees.
And Todd says, hey guys, just got home from mounting Sask on one side, Alberta on the other, off the back of my sissy bar on my Harley. No idea what that means, but then he corrects himself. Saskatchewan flag on one side, Alberta on the other one. Okay, flags. Of my sissy bar Harley? Yeah. What does that mean?
It's a certain kind of handlebar, I believe.
Okay.
I will say this. I used to have a Harley in Vancouver, and it was held to ride because they changed the noise laws within Vancouver. And having a loud Harley is actually safer than riding a quiet bike because people move over and they kind of see you coming. That being said, they changed the law so they don't even have to have a noise meter to see, test your bike at a certain decimal. If the cop believes it's too loud, that's all they need. The cop says it's too loud, it's too loud. There's no noise decimal law anymore.
They had to go do a whole thing with the pipes and change it, and then it didn't work. You got another ticket.
It was just ticket after ticket every time I took that thing out, which, man, you just broke my heart because I love that bike.
Yes, it was nice though.
Yeah.
Glenn Gunn says, Zed. Zed. Todd says, looks awesome. I have witnesses. I believe you. And Todd also says, I use both imperial and metric, have to in engineering. It just confuses me. I'm already bad at math and numbers. Then when you start switching them over and having the dashboard have different ones, it gets worse. Justin GP says, here in the bush, within at least 10 minutes, I saw 2 moose, 2 whitetail, 2 mule deer, 1 elk, and a black bear.
Oh my God.
It means they're coming out. Spring is
hell
coming.
Hell of a day there.
Spring is coming.
Man.
Babies. But that makes everybody more violent. So I guess not so good. Makes the animals more violent. Glenn Gunn says, sounds good, Todd. Yes. Edward says, hey, guy, isn't that Nat's mug?
This one?
I bought him that one.
Or this one. Oh, she's got a collection of Starbucks mugs.
I am
from
that person,
all these different little cities. This is my main mug, which she broke the lid to, which is a tea mug.
Which I gave to him.
And then this one usually carries my apple juice and water. And then the other one usually carries my tea, which I need to try to stay caffeinated and stay awake. Not working too well today.
He's getting older. His neck hurts.
Oh, thank you.
Justin GP says it's the BITCH bar.
You can offer me a massage for my neck. Instead, what you offer is stop complaining, be a man. That's what I hear.
Yeah, I'm bringing masculinity back, I guess. Justin GP says it's the BITCH bar. Lol.
Yeah.
Is that another name for it? Okay. Sean says lots too weird spelling changes like harbor, color. Yeah, harbor was the other one. Those are silent U words, and then no Z, or as you would say. No, Z, or as you would say, Z, like organization is organization. Oh, yeah, that actually does annoy me. that they use S instead of Z. Mike, hello, Mike. Thank you for being here. Says, smash that like button. Thank you so much. And yes. And
Oh, and Mike, we played your the trailer for your
intro.
podcast. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
So
Todd says, Sissy Bar is the tall one at the back for the women, for the chick in the back seat.
well, yeah, and you can hold your bag on it as well. I believe.
Okay, tall backrest at the back. Oh, okay, if you got a girl, it works best for flag mounting and strapping large backpacks of gear too. Or women. Sean says, you see it spell checked on me. Oh, and the theater is theater and center is center. That also always annoyed me too. Okay, hold on. Yes, and Christu says, neighbor, neighbor, center, center. There's so many actually when you actually look into it.
Yeah.
But now let's go into, where are we going? Alberta Politics?
Alberta
or did
Politics.
we just do that one?
No, we're going into Alberta Politics. Yeah.
I don't know what day it is, what time it is, where we are. Where am I?
This was the biggest week we've ever had for the amount of content we were pushing out because the number of interviews and the number of lives we did.
Yes.
So next week's big as well, but not quite as big as this week was.
Justin GB says, hey, Sean, do me a favor. Can you color in the Z in the center, please?
Okay, let's get to
Alberta
it.
Politics, yes.
He doesn't discuss federal politics. He only concerns himself with Alberta's independence.
And what do we got for the first story here?
did the same thing. Starting with from Mark Nixon, quote, TTV is now platforming conservative voices to try and shut down the Alberta separatist momentum. James Moore openly backed Jason Kenney push to squash the movement and praised his courage with a U. You see the strategy now, use conservative commentators to sell the federalist narrative to conservatives because establishment voices have completely lost credibility in Alberta. And I mean, this was incredibly predictable too.
I'll start with you on this. That comment, we'll talk to Mr. Kinney on question period this weekend, but that comment to the Globe I think he gave this morning around like there needs to be louder voices on the pro side, the Remain side, both inside and outside of Alberta was of interest to me because everyone has kind of been carefully trudging around the issue, just given the fact that we don't even know if the petition will meet Elections Alberta standards and therefore a referendum will be held. Do you think there needs to be louder voices on the federal stage?
I do, but the federal stage needs to be Albertans. Albertans need to talk to other Albertans about the future of Alberta in Canada. Yeah, I'm a British Columbian, Christy's from BC, you know, Marco and Tony are from Ontario. You have roots in Alberta, but I think this is an Alberta conversation.
And that's what they want to frame this in. They want to silo the conversation into Alberta when they talk, even when the national media is going to talk about this. They're already talking about it on a national level. When they were talking about Russia collusion, there was outlets in the States that were talking about it. There were outlets in the BBC in the UK talking about it. They're already sitting in international and national conversation, and they want to try to pitch it like, you better keep this conversation within Alberta because we are. No, they're not, and neither should we. We need to take the gloves off. Otherwise, we're going to end up like Pierre Poilievre did.
But I think all of Canada needs to listen to the gripes that have been, persistent for a long time from the province of Alberta that are entirely rational, entirely reasonable, and they need to be mitigated by governments working together. But the call for Albertans to stand up and to be vociferous actors in this debate is, I think, overdue. And I applaud Jason Kenney, who's taking a lot of heat and a lot of cruelty from people who don't believe in Canada, who don't believe in the benefits that this country offers to Albertans and to all Canadians. And I think the call to arms for people to arms, I don't know the right word, but the call to action, rather, of people who believe passionately in the future of this country and the future of Alberta within this country, I think is something that needs to happen. So I applaud Jason for saying that because I think it does need to happen. These, the lies that are being told about Confederation, the scaremongering that is happening out there is wrong, and it's really ugly. And I think it requires articulate, thoughtful voices from Alberta to defend the Canadian interest.
There are no articulate, thoughtful voices except for one, and I keep pointing out at it, and it's very obvious at this point. It's Danielle Smith. Danielle Smith is the only one that can try to sell federalism, and she can't sell federalism to the politically engaged because we're smarter than that. But again, she's the one that's putting the question on the October 19th ballot. So again, independence people aren't going to be overly hard on her because she is one of the crucial figures that we need to do us a favor at a certain point. That being said, the non-politically engaged people, she may be able to sell federalism too. So it's going to be a drag out political fight come October 19th.
But also, I will say, we've been talking about this whole week and a little bit since last week that they're trying to silo the conversation and they want that conversation siloed. So if the independence movement uses the argument that only Albertans can talk about Alberta within Alberta, you're playing into their game to leave that conversation just there and not expanded into a more national conversation, because they don't want that, because they wouldn't end up winning that one, and not to give it to the international stage either, because the international stage could come out and support, as they did during the Freedom Convoy, not everybody obviously, but at least the independent journalists and content creators outside of Alberta and outside of Canada could come out and support even further when, I will say, when the federal government tries to do shenanigans.
Well, it's not when they're trying to do shenanigans. They're already pitching this on a national level. Every mainstream outlet is coming after Alberta. What is this, a conversation in Alberta? No, this is a conversation coming out of Ottawa on an international level and then coming in as attacks on Alberta. And if Alberta doesn't do the same thing and raise a national conversation, drawing national conservatives over to our side, which they're already leaning that way, I say it's only a matter of a couple weeks before they completely wake up and start really backing independence. And at that point, we may have a secure national conservative base to really voice our concerns.
But also from Real Talk, Brian Jesperson, and we keep playing clips from here because they are, it seems like they are the ones sort of alongside with Jen Gerson from The Line trying to craft the narrative that eventually does go out to the Jason Kenney's of the world, and then from there to the national stage.
We have to watch what the other side is doing, and this is obviously the narrative that they're trying to build. So
yeah, government has failed miserably. Former major crimes investigator Neil LeMay warns Alberta's voter data breach, which they continue to hammer on, could fuel organized crime and mass fraud, blaming weak laws and RCMP cuts.
The victim in this is 2.9 million people. What I'm seeing here, frankly, scares the hell out of me. We are sliding down a slippery slope greased by government people who are aligned with the independence movement, who are changing laws to make their life easier. They don't have a plan for after independence. To be quite honest with you, I don't think they have the cognitive ability to understand where they're taking this province. I find it personally very frightening.
They're calling you retarded, essentially.
Well, what I'll say is, we have a plan. Everything may not be laid out in perfect form because we have to build the Constitution after we get independence. But the plan I know I don't want to go down is the plan of National Canada. That will just absolutely devastate not only our own lives, but our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives for generations to come. Carney's handing the country over to mass migration and foreign countries. He's turning the country communism on top of it.
Dangerous is not an overstatement. What the separatist group has done is provided a target list for fraud, for intimidation, for all sorts of nefarious activities that has the name of every voting Albertan on it, along with their address. The independence movement is talking about freedoms. They've taken the voters list, turned it into a target list. They've actually reduced our freedom because now we have to be more careful. We have to be on guard all the time now because our information's out there. Closing the barn down now is impossible. The horse is out there. There's very organized terrorist groups out there who fund themselves through this type of fraud.
The RCs are on this. How optimistic are you?
No, I'm not optimistic at all.
Oof.
This is smoke and mirrors. The provincial government has been strangling.
Okay, and we'll leave it there. They're going to go right to Russia collusion and right to terrorism. So absolutely ridiculous. These are the narratives they want to go with. And I think a lot of this has, again, to do with trying to keep the conversation siloed to Alberta and deal with Alberta first and deal with that all on its own without anybody else getting involved except for the national opposition to it, and then to deal with Quebec on a completely separate date a year or two down the road.
And then maybe being able to deal with Saskatchewan by itself and British Columbia by itself. So if we can start the national conversation on the other side and set the actual narrative instead of the lies they continue to peddle, well, then it's not just a 1-2 punch to the federal government, but a punch from all sides.
Okay.
I don't know what I was
You're losing yourself now. Let's go into the next story.
I lost the metaphor I was trying to give. But Dwayne Brad says, quote, dozens of Alberta academics, including myself, have written, signed, an open letter calling for a public inquiry into the breach of the voter list. The letter can be viewed here.
Well, and I brought this up to say specifically, there was a barrage of articles saying we need to listen to academia in Alberta. We need to listen to academia in Alberta. I'm like, what are they talking about? And now they come out with this. They were ready to come out with a letter. Nobody trusts academia within Alberta anymore. And that's why that series of articles was coming out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They were trying to set up for this. I don't think this has any punch because nobody trusts academia, not only in Alberta, but nationwide anymore.
And mainstream media less and less so as well.
Yeah.
However, there will be some lemmings that fall for it. But luckily in Alberta, as Marty was saying, a lot of people don't even notice or listen that much to mainstream media anymore. I'm sure within the cities it's a bit different, but I am encouraged to know that not everybody believes everything, like in other provinces, for example.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's a little bit more concerning that we want to give it credit for. Normally, it wouldn't be concerning if it's Ninchi and Mark Carney making the play on national media like Global or CTV, but when it's Danielle Smith and she's really pushing a strong nationalist message and she's saying, I'm getting things done, and people don't know the inner workings and the regulations behind what she's signing on to, she may be able to sell it to the non-politically engaged. We have to take it seriously now.
Yes. Speaking of Carney and the donkey tater, from CTV News, quote, PM Carney planning new legislation to expedite more project approvals. He could just approve it today, but no.
And again, he could just approve it today. This is going to get approved. I said it from the beginning. He's looking at this through an economic lens. He thinks if he solves the economics, he's going to not only get rid of the independence movement, but if he thinks he throws a pipeline in Adam, that 35% is going to go down to 25%, and then he can take them on head on in a referendum. And if he does that, he has a mandate and can federalize the country. I say nay to Mark Carney, and we'll see what happens on October 19th.
Mm-hmm. But it's also infuriating to me, how much they're playing up the whole data breach thing, like that guy was doing. And again, he called all the independent supporters retarded, so.
They're going to do everything they can.
What they do.
I think the data breach is more in lines of they're trying to peel voters off of our side, just like we're trying to peel voters off of their side. I don't think it's actually going to go anywhere, but I think this is a matter of playing politics and trying to peel off 5 or 10% when and where they can.
But now we'll go into your comments before we go into Alberta personalities. Sean says, not their imperial measurements, or I used to call them Her Majesty's measurements, but now I call them freedom measurements and freedom spelling for Alberta. Again, they've been using the common sense ones, I will say, for too long to change now to the US version. Glenn Gunn says, who cares about mainstream media? No one in Alberta watches it. Oh, it's kind of what I just said that Marty had told us.
Yeah, I think nobody really watches it. Danielle Smith, when she gets on there and actually has messaging, it gives her a full audience to the entire province. And she really is, like in all the clips that came out today, she is really pitching nationalism hard there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but also she's getting it from all sides, because the Federalists, like we saw in that clip about the data breach, were saying that this was from her helping the independence movement. So in a way, she again has to play that political tightrope.
Yeah.
Alba Twitch says only heavily medicated old folks watch it. You're right, but they do go out to vote usually.
Yeah, they're not only going to go out to vote, but if they can build a narrative behind Danielle Smith and get the right characters behind her, they may be able to build a narrative for nationalism. And it's starting to concern me just a little bit. I'm starting to pay attention now, because when it was Mark Carney or potentially a Polyev, if they tapped on the shoulder, which hasn't happened to this point, or a Ninchi or a Jason Kenney, it doesn't worry me at all. It's only going to help us out. But if it's Danielle Smith with a couple other actors in there that can really pitch this thing, well, we're going to have to start really listening, because she's looking at the same polling we are. And I've seen her issue by issue make small corrections, so she can say, I'm fixing things. No, you're fixing them about this much. We want to fix them permanently, and we don't want the federal government to keep undoing them. That's why we need to break free from the federal shackles.
Yes. Justin GB says, no one can sell me a piece of poo wrapped in gold paper. Good. And I hope most Albertans will be thinking that way. Glenn Gunn says, I vote to keep the word A. Todd says,
well, A's in Alberta.
Todd says, someone should maybe let them know we're ready for their shenanigans.
Yeah.
And I think by, again, continuing to stay positive and also not just falling for the attacks and being able to counteract them with the better messaging and the truth, the better messaging and the truth, then that is actually a better response, I would say.
Yeah.
Glenn Gunn says, how's it going? Doesn't work without the A. How's it going? Glenn says, I dare that guy to come to a town hall in any town in Alberta.
Well, it becomes, let's be nice to him.
Well, I mean, I guess he'd learn a lot because he clearly doesn't know much. Justin GP says, the poo is Canada, the gold wrap is someone selling meeple. Todd says, one side of my ancestry has been on the losing side of war in Europe, so pretty hard to intimidate us. What?
Let's go into Alberta personalities, and then we'll go back into the comments if we can.
Sure. Let's go into Alberta personalities.
But they need to understand that Albertans are done. We're leaving, and there's no more conversation to be had. I know that's upsetting to people.
Sorry, I was trying to read all your comments and you didn't let me.
Thanks.
Dave Olstad says, quote, Canadian School Board trustee Barry Newfold from British Columbia, Canada, was ordered by the fake judges on the BC Human Rights Tribunal, which isn't a thing, it shouldn't be a thing, to pay $750,000 to alphabet soup community teachers for statements opposing SOGI, or sexual orientation and gender identity. It's a disgusting program.
Yeah, there's a whole architecture. Go up, please. There's a whole go up, please.
It's not letting me.
There's a whole architecture of human rights tribunals that are really sidelining the political court system to give out massive fines, which can bankrupt people. And if we see the new attorney, it's not the attorney general, it's the new governor general actually set up the architecture of these human rights tribunals on an international level with the international courts. So we're only going to see more of this. It's only going to get worse in Canada. This is why we need to break free now. Barry Newfall came up in our morning show, and it just happened to be that I already had this pegged for Alberta personalities because it's an adjacent subject.
Barry Newfelt. I was an elected school trustee, and for 8 years, the legacy media in Canada, politicians and the unions have tried to ruin my reputation and ruin me financially. But I am willing to stand up to protect vulnerable kids, even if it means a $750,000 fine, which was recently given to me.
And that's insane.
I would love to see him run with one BC there. He's a perfect candidate. They're looking for candidates right now to run that are getting the prosecution of the federal government. Yeah, we'll leave it there.
But also from Western Standard, there's, quote, conservatives push motion demanding federal action to protect property rights after BC court ruling.
Oh, what the hell can they do at this point? Yeah. Carney's got a freaking majority government. We can sit there and complain. The only thing we can really do is push for independence if we really want change, because the Conservatives at this point can't do nothing. Pierre Poilievre refused to take the gloves off when he had the chance before the last election. He finally took them off right before he lost a majority government to Carney, and now we're going to be waiting years. By the time the next election comes around, Canada's going to be in absolute rubble.
Mm-hmm. More than it already is.
Yeah.
But speaking of absolute rubble, we continue to be very happy that we were able to interview Dallas Brody from British Columbia and the BC One Party, because BC is essentially what's going to happen to Alberta if you don't become independent. Well, it's a mirror to your future.
We'll just jump right into the clip. This is the last time we're going to play the clip. We asked this question at the end of the interview. I realized a lot of people didn't see it. We asked if she supports Alberta and Alberta independence referendum on October 19th. She came out with affirmed that she does support it, and she had actually a lot of connections through her father to Alberta, so she gave quite an emotional answer, not the typical canned answer that you get from a politician.
Yes. Seeing concurrently almost in Alberta, there's even talk about and a lot of discussion around independence. And yes. What would be your view, or what is your view on the right of Albertans to hold a referendum on October 19th?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful that Alberta is doing this. Why do I feel that way? Because I've watched Alberta, well, frankly, get screwed for my whole life. First under Trudeau, when he did the National Energy Program and forced Alberta to sell its oil at beneath world prices to Canadians. It was just horrible policy. I mean, and Alberta is probably one of our greatest provinces. And from a work ethic standpoint, from a get her done, get it handled, just work all night, work all day, none of this, I only work 3 hours and then I take a 2-hour break. My father was quite involved in the oil and gas industry in British Columbia, and then ended up working for Turbo Resources in Alberta. And I remember he'd tell me, Dallas, you can't believe the difference in attitude in Alberta. He goes, I just love it there. The people work. He goes, you go out to see them putting in the pipelines, and he says, they work all night with floodlights. They work all day and they don't stop. Like he said in British Columbia, they work, only 5 hours. And then, he said, these people are so different. And it really is an incredibly powerful province. And I think that it's time that they're not getting a good deal from our Confederation. It's not worked for them. It's not working for BC.
And we can kind of leave it there, but good on her for giving a solid answer and not a pre-canned answer like most politicians would have given to a question like that.
Yes.
So
if you haven't seen it, go see it. Because again, the rest of the interview also centers on the destruction of British Columbia, which is just holding up a mirror for what will happen to Alberta and it already is happening to Alberta, if we don't
vote for independence, BC is going to be our future, and nobody wants that. The Chinese have their hooks in so deep in BC, it's disgusting.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you there. I thought you were losing your thought.
I wasn't.
You didn't have any thoughts.
But now let's go into your comments, which are a lot more thoughtful than what we're saying. Sean says, what he's saying is some people live in grass huts in Papua New Guinea and can have a peaceful separation of their province, but not Alberta. Yes. Exactly.
Well, we're going to see. Maybe we can have a peaceful separation because maybe they're underestimating us and they're going to and they're going to say, let's let this thing ride to a referendum and see if we can't beat them. I think they're dramatically underestimating us. I think we can have a hell of a team right now with this grassroots movement, and we're going to push and push and push until we obtain victory on October 19th.
Mm-hmm. DeBilver says, good evening, all. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Todd says, stay with us, Nat. Lol. Sorry, my brain's off today. Glenn Gunn says, my mother hunkered in a bunker in Scotland during the bombings. That's brave, but it rhymed as well. I just noticed it rhymed. Todd says, there's David Parker, my man. And Todd says, David Parker is awesome, responsible for bringing Jordan Peterson and Tucker Carlson to Alberta. One of them, I would say, was worthwhile. Glenn Gunn says that list used to be public in a phone book, blowing this way out of proportion. I think they're using it a lot. I mean, they're using it because they're running out of... They don't have any arguments.
They're using it to peel votes for moderates and to scare moderates. So we have an education to the general public we're going to need to do at this point.
Albert Switch says they can't confront sovereignty in free and open discourse, so they must resort to name-calling and strawman arguments, as we've seen them do over and over again, and I think it's going to get worse.
Well, it's a damn shame more provinces aren't standing up for their own independence at this point. I know there's movements in other provinces, but nobody's raising their voice. We need Saskatchewan, we need BC to raise their voice. I understand there's not that critical mass of people in BC, but there are enough upset people, especially about private property rights, where if they raise their voice now, it's only going to help Alberta independence because it puts the federal government on their back foot.
Exactly. Todd says, info scattered everywhere by lots of politicians for a long time now, just grasping at straws, no wrongdoing, nothing that hasn't been done before. Albert Twitch says, maybe the latest, I'm going to have to say it this way, polemic will keep the heavily medicated ones from getting out to vote. True. I mean, I did see a post from Marty up north saying that he started spotting a lot of people wearing masks now. Even someone on a bike on a back road was wearing a mask.
Oh my God.
Todd says, we were talking sissy bar because I mounted flags to a guy. Lol, it's relevant. Relax. It's relevant. Yes.
Oh, and I love the Sasquatches in Mike Freedom Honey's trailer there.
Yes. Sean says that hominem attacks are for losers, very common for the far left. Because they're losers, yes. And because they don't have arguments. Again, they've lost all ability to think critically because they're so open-minded and they've been so propagandized that their brains fell out and then the propaganda stomped on them. Todd says, Alberta and Saskatchewan flag, totally relevant and effective, lol, for independence optics. Yes, and that is actually a good point because who was it? Don had suggested to have those lawn signs with reasons and what an independent Alberta would bring and would create as a new nation. And I think that's a good idea also to bring the Saskatchewan flag together with the Alberta flag to start that conversation on a more national scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit disappointed in Scott Moe over in Saskatchewan. He's way too friendly with Carney. And I'll tell you this, we've had a few comments now of people in Saskatchewan saying, well, our potash prices and our natural resource prices are good. Why would we want to separate? It's because the prices may be good, but the federal government's taking massive amounts of money out of your pocket.
And also imagine how much better they could be if you could negotiate by yourselves.
Yeah.
Instead of with someone stomping down on your neck. Todd says, our events are all like music festivals, so no reason not to feel welcome at all of them.
Yeah.
And Albert Twitch says, good man of integrity. The man in BC. I forgot his name, sorry. Sean says, MMWG.
Barry Newfield.
Yes, Newfield. Sean says, MMWG to SLGBTQQIIAA plus.
Oh, I don't.
They need the 750,000 to add more letters. Believe me, they don't need it to add the letters. They just add them.
It's easier to say the alphabet backwards than it is to say that thing.
Z, X, Y.
You see what I'm saying there, Nat?
ZXY.
Okay.
How is it? Is that X?
Well, if you get pulled over in a roadside stop, they'll ask you that question and see if you're drunk. And I'm like, I can't even do that when I'm sober.
No, I've been sober for 10 years. I can't do it now.
Yeah.
There's proof on camera. Sean says, it's weird. It's weird how not only the truth being irrelevant in BC, but their obsessive need to push a message everyone, especially the leaders, know is a lie about the massive unaliving of the Why do you spell it all out? MMWG to SLGBTQQIIAA plus people.
Okay.
See what it does to me?
You're getting the virus. They've infected you just by saying the letters.
I literally can't say it.
Okay, let's go into.
I'm allergic.
Let's go into Alberta's Canada, and then we'll go back to comments after that.
Yes, sorry about that. Let's go into. Oh, we're there already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go into Alberta's Canada. We call it that way because Alberta is the only thing that continues to hold up Canada, and soon, when it becomes independent, Canada will fall more.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people.
Oh, my neck. God, I swear to God, I'm having trouble just sitting here.
It's normal. I don't know what it's called in English, but in Spanish, it's called tortícolis, and it happens all the time to normal people.
Oh, God. Okay, let's keep going.
And old people. Starting with, Melissa says, quote, if Canada doesn't have access to the United States, Canada won't have an auto sector, an entire sector at risk. Liberals can keep repeating they want the best deal for Canada, but it's at the expense of Canadians. Put the ego aside and do what's right for Canada.
It's going to have an auto sector. It's going to be the Chinese auto sector that's shipped over here in crates, no manufacturing actually done here.
Mm-hmm.
So diversification for auto is not an option. If we do not have U.S. access, we do not have an auto industry. That's just the bottom line. So we really need to get this relationship right. You would not build cars in Canada to ship to Europe or to Asia. It just doesn't make commercial or economic sense. We happen to sit beside the largest, most dynamic, wealthiest economy in the world in the United States. This is the gravity model of trade. You're going to do the most trade with the largest economy that is geographically closest to you. So, well, it would be nice to diversify. Not going to happen for auto. That's why we got to get back to the negotiating tables. So diversification for auto.
Okay, and that's good. And he's absolutely right. And we've been showing that story over and over. The auto industry is completely hollowing out. Number one, on its own because of the tariffs. But number two, because they invested in an EV future. And Trump said no more EVs for the United States. Mm-hmm. And therefore, all the major manufacturers in North America are moving away because EVs were not profitable to manufacture. It was subsidized by the government. Mm-hmm. I just remembered we had a super chat right after we went off the air in the afternoon.
Yes.
Do you remember what they said?
No.
Because I meant to remember and bring it up on tonight's episode because I felt bad.
Yeah, because we left before we could read it. I'll look for it and then we'll bring it up at the end maybe if I can find it.
Okay.
But we will read it. We will read it.
Let's keep going though.
Yes. But speaking of the auto sector and the diversification of it and the uselessness that it is to diversify, Mexico knows all about it. Going into Chinese EVs, Juno News says PB criticizes Prime Minister Carney for signing onto a so-called New World Order with the dictatorship in Beijing, while saying he has made little progress on U.S. trade talks.
Then there's the China illusion. When he said that Beijing, a year ago, he said that Beijing was the single biggest threat to Canada. And then about 3 months ago, he signed on to what he called the Strategic Partnership for a New World Order with a dictatorship in Beijing. And of course, there's the illusion of the last election where he said he needed to call an immediate snap election so that he had a mandate to conclude a deal with Trump and end the tariffs. And here we are He hasn't sat down at the negotiating table for 5 months. While the Mexicans are there eating our diplomatic and economic lunch, he is sitting on the sidelines and our people are sitting without jobs. Then there's the China illusion.
Well, and it's a damn shame because he's in a situation now. I don't think he can actually be Prime Minister of Canada. His vote is split between people that want independence and national conservatives, and he can't hold them together anymore. Danielle Smith is holding those two groups together amazingly. So I think she's the only conservative in Canada that could hold that coalition together. There's not another conservative that can. And he like, as much as I talk crap on Pierre, once Alberta gets his independence, he's the best shot they got at a national leader, and I would love to see him get in there. But I definitely want to see Alberta get its independence first.
But unfortunately, also with Pierre, it is sad to admit it, but a pipe dream for Canada, because even if he, and I continue to repeat this point, even if the Conservatives got in with a majority, and then after the next 3 years, it would take generations to actually reverse a lot of the legislation, a lot of the things that Canada has done lately to destroy itself. And that's why, I mean, even though they have great ideas sometimes, it's kind of falling, especially now, on deaf ears. Mark Nixon says, wow, Conservatives just introduced 3 major initiatives for new parents in Canada. Parents could return to work without losing parental benefits and use the remaining time later. Parents could go back to school while receiving parental leave. Parents could earn income caring for children, seniors, or sick family members while still receiving benefits. Great ideas,
but
can't happen.
They have no way to enact change on any level. They're losing in committees. They're losing everywhere else. Oh, let's pause it for a minute.
Thank you so much to Glenn Gunn for the $1 super chat.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
There was no message though, so if you wanted to leave a message, you can just write it and I'll read it as well.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this because there is no way for the National Conservatives to affect change. And Mark Carney is stacking all these committees. He's going to pass a lot of how Canada is run now through committee, and it's going to be under the darkness of night. People aren't even going to know what happens in these committees because they're constantly turning off the cameras.
Families. Right now, parental leave must be taken consecutively and without interruption. So if a mother temporarily returns to work, she risks losing the remainder of her maternity leave entitlement altogether. That rigid system no longer reflects the realities of modern work or modern family life. Under our plan, mothers would be able to temporarily interrupt their maternity leave through a mutually agreed arrangement with their employers, whether it is for financial necessity, seasonal work.
Okay, and we can leave it there. And I do want to say this as well, because we were talking about this in our interview with Kathy Flint. And what we were talking about is we want a nation where one income can supply a household and both parents don't have to work and give their child over to the government or to daycare. When you look even at the Conservatives in the national Canadian level, they're not even pitching that idea. That idea is so far into left field, it's a pipe dream at this point. In an independent Alberta, things like that are actual possibilities.
And also economically, there are actual possibilities.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of people wonder, and I've been screaming from the rooftops about population collapse for years now. You can go back and see all the videos I've done about it. But when people talk about population collapse, a big component of that is that young people, yes, they say they don't want kids and they want to be independent, but in reality, it is that fear that they just cannot do it with the current circumstances, and there's nothing out there trying to support them. Within an independent Alberta, there could be mechanisms put in place to actually give the real opportunities to the young people specifically, so they can feel encouraged to have more children, and more than one as well.
Yeah.
But
you're out of breath. You're running out of breath these days. You might need to start taking walks, Nat.
At what time do you suggest I do that? From the national
She
vote.
walks from the bed to the desk, to the other desk when she edits, back to this desk, and then back to bed.
I walk the dog.
Oh, and then sometimes you walk to
And the
get me a
grocery
taco.
I need to get him a taco. But National Post says, quote from Colby Koch, Supreme Court upholds Liberals' right to protect embarrassing secrets because now they have a majority and now they can continue to do so.
And again, they're doing this on every level. And this is why we need a free and independent Alberta that can bring radical transparency, not only into government, but into the business class as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
She looks like Santa Claus there.
That's what they look like. But again, it's one of those weird traditions that Canada still has. Okay, I'll go. Glenn says, because I said, write me a message that you were going to write.
Oh, yeah.
Says, sorry, wouldn't let me do more. Something went wrong.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But YouTube.
We wanted your comment. If you
Yeah,
had
I
a
wanted
comment.
the comment. Let me know what you wanted to write, and I'll read it up. Read it out. But thank you so much. Hold on. Where were we? Todd says, I went 60 straight nights, 7 to 7, turned into a vampire eventually, then took 10 off and back at her. Little fun times.
Yeah, I think I went a couple at one point because I've worked hard my whole life, but a lot of pipeline jobs or construction jobs I can do 2 weeks on, a week off, 3 weeks on, a week off. But when we were trying to flee Canada, I only could get minimum wage jobs. I was working 2 to 3 jobs a day, sometimes 24-hour shifts. I think I worked 2 years straight without a day off. I was literally going freaking insane. But I was like, I had a fire lit under my ass. We need to get the hell out of that country before we wouldn't be able to. I'm surprised. Yeah.
And for a bit, we were both working 12-hour days. I was working at night because I work better at night, and he was working during the day. We barely saw each other. I mean, we would say hi to each other, and then he'd go sleep, and I'll wake up, and vice versa.
But it was actually good training for what we're doing now to fight for independence, because we're putting pretty long days. Like an 8-hour day would be a short day for
us
now.
But I actually like doing this too.
Yeah.
So this motivates me.
Usually we do about a 12-hour day, but it's very motivating. I can actually fight back and grind that axe against the government's freaking. We'll leave it there.
Glenn Gunn, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Again, you could have just written the message, but says, Chris Scott at the Whistle Stop, July 1st, Alberta Day. Please come. Please go. We may break Woodstock records. You will meet everyone. Yes, break those records. And it sounds great and amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you doing?
I was looking at what date it is.
July 1st.
No, I know, but I was seeing what date it is now. And I was planning in my head things.
Yeah, we're trying
to plan in my head things.
We're planning to come up there. We're trying to arrange some things down here. We're definitely going to come up. We just have to figure out when. And Jason Levine invited us to go on some kind of speaking tour.
A little tour, yeah.
We want
we would love to.
We want to coordinate it with Jason when we do actually come up there.
Yes, that sounds great.
Yeah. And the Whistle Stop is the place to be. Like when we're out there, that's the number one place that's like on the bucket list for Alberta there.
Yes. Todd says, yeah, we have to go after the Saskatchewan people and grassroots, not their politicians. They could already be bought, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need to go. I'm telling you this, and I know a lot of people are against it, but man, get the people in Quebec to raise their voice. Those politicians just want to cut another deal with Ottawa, but the people that want independence there really actually want independence. And if they raise their voice online and start organic conversation, it only helps us. And it, like literally, the government won't see it coming. They don't expect it.
And Sean just says, nah, when I choked on the alphabet salad. That's why I don't even say it anymore.
Well, and I will say we didn't have time because we had an interview directly after our noon show. So the RUMBLE section is quite long today. I think there's 5 or 6 stories there.
Because we added the ones from the afternoon. The noon show. Todd says, don't ever say the letters in order. Give you vid automatically. I'm guessing get your vid down automatically.
It's like turning out the lights and saying Candyman in the mirror. They'll come get you.
What was the other one?
I don't know.
Yes, there was like was it Bloody Mary or one of those?
Something like that, yeah. It's the same idea, though.
I won't say it. Yes, it is. Alpha Twitch says, oh, get some motion medicine, bud. The stuff is great for muscle aches.
Oh, it is.
I
What's
think
motion medicine? I took an Advil, but it usually takes about an hour to kick in. So it's like it's going to kick in by the time the show's done, which I don't need it then.
You do need it because I don't want you the whole night saying, my neck hurts.
Oh, thanks for the voice.
I actually take care of you.
What? When does this happen?
All the time.
Okay.
When you get food poisoning, I go get you electrolytes. I nurse you back.
Way to pat yourself on the back there, Nat.
Well, nobody else does it, so might as well do it myself.
Okay, let's go into the next comment.
We actually love each other, don't worry. Alba Twitch
At
says,
times.
And Alba Twitch says, and all that climate alarm is BS. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's still going on, but it's becoming less and less. It's going to be interesting. I think Carney's looking to transition more into natural resources as he can federalize them.
Mm-hmm. Sean says Honda already pulled out of a new EV manufacturing plant in Canada. At least
we covered that yesterday.
Yeah, they continue to say we're talking.
They let that leak, and the auto industry is going to be completely hollowed out. That mainly affects Ottawa. So,
Albert Twitch says net zero nonsense affects the manufacture of those too.
It affects everybody. All this carbon taxes and everything else, they thought they were going to implement it with all these global elite countries. They're still trying to wait Trump out on it so they can bring back this global carbon architecture that's going to benefit all the politicians in all these countries and take wealth out of the working class.
Todd says, yeah, we're going to build them. You can put the glass in and mount the mirrors, Canada.
Yep. That's exactly what happened in Mexico. And now they're getting rid of a lot of the Chinese manufacturing and bringing in American manufacturing. And the Americans are actually sending down the Canadian manufacturing that they're hollowing out from Canada and shipping it to Mexico, which is a shame. If Canada would just be willing to play ball, it would benefit the entire Western Hemisphere.
And Sean says, and Chinese EVs actually violates the Canadian law prohibiting products that are products of forced labor.
I don't know about that, Sean, because it goes right back to when we have the CCP guarding the natural resource sites as well. Yep. There's all kinds of caveats. They just let the Chinese do whatever they want when it comes to whether it's firearm protection and natural resource protection or however they want to build cars. If it's okay with the Chinese, it's okay with Mark Carney.
And also careful with those because they explode. Again, there's a video on this channel from about 8 months ago that I did about the introduction and injection of Chinese EVs into Mexico and how bad that went. Albert Switch says, national conservatives aren't conservative anymore. No.
Well,
they're convenience.
The funny thing is, I was watching that whistleblower from the podcast, The Line again. I think it was the first podcast, and she had the whistleblowing one. Yeah. And she was just talking about how the liberals and conservatives, they're so similar now. There's not much room between them other than Poilievre wants to deal with the United States and Mark Carney wants to align with Europe. They're pretty much the same party. Now, I don't agree with that, but I will say they are becoming closer and closer together almost every day, especially because the conservatives are now irrelevant for the next couple of years until the next election. If they want to retain relevancy, they're gonna start liberalizing themselves, and I don't like to see it whatsoever.
They're convenience conservatives. Todd says maybe put the wheels on. Lol. Yeah, that would be the most things they do. Albert George says, yes, even if conservatives were to win a majority, their central banking masters still have them on the marionette strings.
Well, and this is why we have such a great opportunity with Alberta independence. I mean, blow up the frickin' system and get out of the sandbox.
Todd says, Mark Nixon says all this stuff and still doesn't support Alberta independence. Lol, weirdo.
He's coming around.
Convenience conservatives, once again.
He's coming around, and these other national conservatives are coming around as well. Our first principles line up. They're realizing, especially if Poilievre gets pushed out, national conservative content creators are going to come around that very day, especially if they implant Kinney or a Doug Ford. So let's not be too hard on them. Let's not push them away. I believe they're going to come around. And when they come around, you're going to have all of Canada get behind Alberta independence because every conservative that's left in national Canada will then get behind it as well.
Justin GP says, and we can't change the constitution for equal representation in Alberta due to the amendment formula, aka the 750 law. So PP can only limp us along till another liberal government.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's time more people realize that. Todd says, guys in the rough, Nat's the finisher. Sean says, Glenn, YouTube had issues with super chats the last few weeks. Happened to me too. I was hearing, and I don't know if any of you know the rumors because we're out of the loop because we're a tiny little channel, but a lot of bigger channels that I follow were talking about something weird going on with YouTube, and I hadn't had the opportunity to ask any of them. But
not just in Alberta, we're talking about American channels too. So and
British channels, so
and not politically oriented channels because you do a guest appearance on an entertainment channel
that
was talking about something, but.
Yeah, but if anybody knows what it is or has heard anything, let us know because I'm just curious. Okay, let's move on to Alberta and the world.
Yeah.
Before you keep tapping the little table.
Perfect.
If you keep tapping the little table, maybe the other side of your neck is going to start hurting.
Oh, I'm real scared from a 5'1" nothingness.
The worst part is he.
Well, I am excited about tomorrow because we only have one show tomorrow. We've been doing
But we like doing shows.
Yeah, but having one show and then having the UFC on at night, that's going to be fantastic. I'll probably have to get a pizza or something. Not with pineapple.
Well, you're going to have to watch it after, though. Marzalaya says, quote, insane. The federal government gave $175 million to Ikari diamond mine. The mine was losing over $100 million a year when they approved it. Diamonds lost 75% of their value. It's now insolvent. The Liberals' response, we knew the risks. That's it. That's their answer. Your money, your taxes gone on a brutal gamble, and we take the L. Not them, us. This is worse than negligence.
This is ridiculous because it should be private industry funding a lot of this. Private industry isn't going to take big risks. They're going to do the proper research studies to make sure they're going to get their investment back. But when it's the government investing with private industry is going to convince the government that everybody's going to line their pockets. And who's going to lose out? The Canadian people. And that's why it's important to bring private investment in, so you're not taking any of this risk. And then you just tax them, and then everybody, it's a win-win for everybody. But I guess in a politician's eyes, it's a win-win as long as they get paid.
Socialism, communism. Wealth Mood says the OECD ranked Canada's future dead last. 38 countries, 38th place for projected GDP per capita growth through 2060, even with all the people they're importing. Not projecting a recession, projecting a generation. Carnage has borrowed $25 billion more.
And we show this quite a few times, and this is a devastating graph, and we need to really...
Canada is there.
We need to show this around in our campaigning for independence. Mexico's slightly above it, but what
Literally just slightly above it.
Not just slightly above it, actually.
Oh, well, yeah, no, with numbers-wise.
It's more than triple, I believe.
Should be higher, though, too.
Yeah, it's more than triple. That being said, there's a black economy within Mexico, too. So those numbers are actually doubled for Mexico. A lot of these countries have black economies. Canada doesn't.
Well, I mean, they have one, but it's called the government. And government investments and the CPP investments and everything else that the government invests wrongly in. But Andrew Lawton,
my favorite politician, Andrew Lawton,
says Liberal Bill C-16 will let judges waive a mandatory minimum sentence if they think it could jeopardize a non-Canadian criminal's immigration status, because those are the priorities in that country.
And again, immigration is the number one issue. So adjacent issues like this and clips like this are actually perfect for Alberta independence.
Mm-hmm.
But just specifically here, so when it says also whether the minimum punishment would amount to cruel and unusual punishment for that offender. So deciding whether it's cruel and unusual punishment isn't just deciding based on the facts of the crime. It's deciding, as I read that, based on the circumstances of the offender. So what exactly is being drawn into that assessment?
So I think we could expect courts to look at the circumstances of the offense, the degree of responsibility of the offender, the sort of types of factors that courts are used to analyzing when reaching a proportionate sentence.
Would an offender's immigration status be considered?
So I think as part of this analysis, I think they would be looking at all of the circumstances surrounding that particular offender and offense. So an offender, so a judge who believes that, an offender's immigration status could be jeopardized by upholding the mandatory minimum, that could be factored into cruel and unusual punishment being determined?
Thanks for the question. I'll jump in on that one. So the courts have been pretty clear, and we've talked about it at this committee before, and Supreme Court decision in FAM, the role that collateral consequences can play in sentencing. Sentencing courts are allowed to take into consideration collateral consequences of a sentence, whether that be immigration status, whether that be employment status. But what
we'll continue to play it, but it's like you commit a crime, you should be out of here. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're on immigration status. It should factor into.
You should be on your best behavior. If you're in someone else's house, you should be on your best behavior. If it's somebody else's country, you should be on your best behavior.
What they cannot do when they take into consideration those consequences is adjust the sentence in a way that would result in the sentence being unfit for that particular offender.
And when determining whether the circumstances are cruel and unusual, that there's nothing in Section 718.41. There's nothing in the safety valve that compels judges to look at the effect it will have on victims and their rights, correct?
I think as Ms. Bird has talked about, in assessing whether a particular sentence would be cruel and unusual in the constitutional context, they're going to look at the seriousness of the offense. In looking at the seriousness of the offense, the gravity of the offense, I think that would provide an opportunity for them to consider aspects related to the victim.
Okay, that's got a bunch of liberal speak for immigrants can do whatever they want and there's going to be no punishment because we don't want to ship them back. We want to keep the criminals here so they can recommit more crimes.
Mm-hmm. Terrorize the population, essentially. But I will say, when justice stops being blind, it stops being justice.
Yeah.
And this is what they're trying to do.
Let's go into
So there is no justice in Canada.
Let's go into the last article of the day before we get into comments.
Posticle. Keith Wilson. If you're going to obsess on calling them articles, I'll just call them posticles. Keith
That's
Wilson.
the biggest posticle I've ever seen.
Keith Wilson says Alberta independence does not threaten the treaties. The treaties predate Alberta. Alberta became a province subject to those treaty obligations, and in 1930, Crown lands and natural resources were transferred to Alberta under a constitutional framework that preserved treaty and traditional rights. An independent Alberta will do the same. Independence is an opportunity to renew the relationship with First Nations, and that is why an increasing number of First Nations members are supporting independence. Because Brandy Morin says Russia, the U.S., the Alberta government, and First Nations taking on all of them at once. The separatist movement threatening their treaties is being amplified by Moscow and Washington. I've been covering this story for months. Then you should know a bit more about it. This week it got bigger, way bigger. It's wild. And the giants are at the gate. First Nations are fighting Russia, the U.S., and the province that won't listen.
Well, it's going to be a new acronym.
That new framework.
FNFRUSA.
Yeah.
My God.
But again, Keith Wilson with just the facts and the truth.
Yeah, and that's
Calm, collected,
why
and
we love Keith Wilson.
explaining
He's
it.
very level-headed, and he just puts it all in good legal analysis.
But now back to your comments. Joe Rush says, no split in my eyes. We want and will get our independence, and maybe Pierre can be considered for Prime Minister of Alberta if he proves worthy. I think he's
Hold
already
on,
proven he's not.
Go to the super chat and then go back to that comment because I want to address
Smile
it.
to life every day. Thank you so much for the $5 super
Thank
chat
you.
saying RCMP found no evidence of foreign interference in Alberta separatists. Not surprised at all, like the rest of the politicians.
Well, not before the entire global media could report on it, including the UK and the United States and all the internet, all the national media in Canada. Yeah, as soon as they're done running their 48-hour cycle, there was nothing there.
Yes.
They'll just wait another couple months and then run the same stories, and the RCMP will come out again and say, oh, there's nothing there.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then if they issue a correction, it'll be teeny tiny and nobody, especially not the lemmings, will see it. Joe Rush says, no split in my eyes. We want and will get our independence, and maybe Pierre can be considered for Prime Minister of Alberta if he proves worthy. I think he's already proven he's not, but
No, he's not going to be Prime Minister of anything in Alberta at all. He hasn't got a freaking chance. Danielle Smith has that on lock, especially because she's letting democracy go forward and she's being honest about it. She's saying she's a federalist, she's a nationalist, but there are grievances within Alberta, and I believe she's going to have that question on that October 19th ballot so she can unify both sides again going forward for the future of Alberta, whether that's for independence or it is to stay with the federal government, which I hope it is not. I firmly believe we're going to get our independence, and I think Danielle Smith, if we get our independence, will take a run at the presidency.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Presidency, I guess. Todd says about sleeping. Yeah, you start feeling like a vampire or zombie. I fall asleep on the couch midday in front of my kids. My boy would throw rolled up socks in my face, wake me up, and run away. Little bugger.
I used to work a oil pipeline
Oh,
job.
hold on. Over and over, giggling the whole time. I had to laugh eventually. That's cute, though.
I used to work an oil pipeline job 4 in the morning. And then I started at 4 in the morning. I worked from 4 in the morning the next day, but I would end around 7 or 8 o'clock and then go home, get changed, and then go do my balancing job. Man, I was angry at that door and I was falling asleep.
Yes.
I did not like it.
I did not like it either.
But the balancing job paid the best of the 4 jobs I had. So
Yes, well, the film industry one paid well when we were actually called to set. But the thing is, the industry was already kind of on its last legs, and then the
jibby jab, I wouldn't
no,
get
not
either.
the jibby jab.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get the jibby jab, so we couldn't get hired anyway.
No.
So
But hold on, what was that called? The strike, the writer's strike. That's what I was trying to say.
Let's keep it
Well,
focused
there was
here, Nat.
picketing signs that I was trying to hold up, but never mind. Sean says the new Alberta Day will be October 19.
Yeah, that will be. It will be Independence Day.
Literally. James B says red rum. I'm not going to say it 3 times though.
Red rum? Red rum.
Stop it.
Red rum.
Your neck's going to hurt.
What does it mean? I don't know. I don't know this.
You do know what it
No,
means.
I don't know.
Spell it the other way, but then YouTube will get angry.
Oh, okay.
Murder.
Oh, now I get it.
You never watched The Shining?
I can't remember it. I'm old.
It's from your time.
Yeah, but I'm old. I haven't seen it in years.
Especially you should know it because it's from your time. Justin GB says, the more everyone talks about independence from everywhere, the more everyone talks about it everywhere. Exactly.
Yeah, and the more we talk about it online spaces, not just in Alberta, but on a national level, it's going to normalize the freaking conversation. And a lot of conservatives are going to wish that they had the opportunity to vote for independence and lived in Alberta. And they'll probably move there, and the rest of Canada is losing hope in the Conservative Party. There is no hope, especially with the way the Mark Carney has grabbed this majority government.
Yes. Todd says, and not medical advice here, but says, I do ibuprofen and acetaminophen at the same time, arthritis, acetaminophen. Hopefully it helps you. James B says, we are out of here. Yes.
Yeah.
Soon. As soon as possible.
October 19th, Independence Day.
Yes. Todd says, industry, been leaving for a long time. Seen it in my hometown's work truck activities.
Yeah.
Justin GP says, I got a fix for your neck, guy. It rhymes with maid.
Maid fixes everything.
Yeah, Canada
according to the federal government.
If you went to the doctor for something like this, I'm sure they would suggest it by now, especially in BC.
Hearing loss, they're suggesting it.
Depression. But Twitch says, Chinese EVs do have an unfortunate tendency to burst into flames with the slightest provocation. Yes, they do. And it's funny. Here, nobody believed me here in Mexico when I started sounding the alarm about that, because I kept seeing, we used to talk a lot about China and what's going on in China. I kept seeing all these cars blowing up over there. And I said, well, there's an influx ever since we came back. I noticed it. They're all over the place. And I kept telling people they're going to blow up. There's one going to blow up somewhere and it's going to make headline news. A bunch have started now blowing up because they've been around here about 5-6 years, which is when they start blowing up.
Well, it was interesting because they had the cargo freighter that was coming over from China because they deliver them 90% already manufactured. And then here in Mexico, they just do the completion details. But one car blew up on the transport, and then it just started a chain reaction.
Because they don't know how to make the batteries properly.
Okay, Nat, come on.
Alba Twitch, again, go watch that video. There's a whole bunch of information there. Alba Twitch says they do make some really good ones, though. They make some really cheap ones, but again, it's cheap for a reason. And they're like everything else made in China. I had to put that in there. James B says the government is the largest driving force for people to vote the correct way on October 19th. There's only two choices. Choice 1, the new world order that stinks, or choice 2, freedom and prosperity. Yes.
Yeah, and I said it in the beginning of the show. I'll just say it one more time because Danielle Smith's all over the news today, pitching nationalism, pitching this pipeline. All of our economic woes are going to be solved soon. And she does know how to pitch it. She's a hell of a politician, but we're going to need to up our game. We're going to need to up our game because we're going against a real politician now, not a Mark Carney or a Poilievre or somebody else like that.
Todd says, we're going to build everything here in Alberta, even fighter jets. Yes. Todd says, yeah, you two stay on YouTube. Please keep them free and accountable, please. Adnan and the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
We will.
We'll always be here. Alba Twitch says, motion medicine, formulated in Canada with all natural ingredients. Motion medicine, topical pain remedy, contains the components clinically proven to ease pain and to aid tissue repair. Not medical advice, but thank you. Because you asked what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Sean says, mostly culture YouTube channels being targeted. Don't know why.
Because that's interesting because the show that you were on, which was WDW Pro, is a culture YouTube station as well.
And the other one that was talking about it and that had to do well, you do it more, it's going to hurt more. That kept talking about them having to change some things. One was a cooking show. One was an interior design show. And yeah, WDW Pro. So
Okay, let's continue here.
Glenn Gunn says, too many nooners. Albert Twitch says, and if they're putting government money into industries, why aren't the people receiving dividend checks? Because it's not for the people.
The people are getting poorer as the government gets richer.
Todd says, no pineapple pizza allowed in the new Republic of Alberta. Sorry, you Hawaiian lovers. Mike said, lol.
I agree.
I will bring my own canned pineapples and put it on them and put my honey as well. From Mike, though. My freedom honey. Sean says,
that'd be the freest pizza I've ever had.
Yes. Sean says, Guy, the Californian in you will be there. You can't escape it, so order that pineapple pizza and enjoy. He doesn't like it. I like it.
No, I don't mind pineapple pizza when it's with ham, but she likes her pineapple pizza with pepperoni.
Yeah. Or prosciutto pizza with...
And she likes cheap, disgusting, Pizza Hut or what do you
No, I
order?
like Papa John's.
Papa John's.
I don't like, yeah. I mean, I like the good pizza, like the fancy one with the pears and the prosciutto
I
and
don't
the
like. Do you
ricotta.
like it too fancy or too cheap? I like it something in between with a lot of cheese.
And I hate too much cheese in it.
Uh,
You like Costco pizza?
Costco pizza's good.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's actually one of my
Pear
favorites.
pizza with prosciutto, balsamic vinegar, ricotta, and what else did I say? Honey is really good.
Save your pear fantasies for for Rumble.
Alpha Twitch says, if we're going to go full socialist, where's the benefits? There aren't. That's the thing. When you go full socialist, there are no benefits. And eventually you run out of other people's money, turn into full communism, and get even worse.
There's mass benefits for the politicians and the elites. They get slaves.
Glenn Gunn says, Albertans are meat lovers. As they should be.
Well, I don't know for how much longer because in Canada, I guess you don't have to label the meat real meat when it's fake meat now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Become independent and eat real meat. Dollar Robinson says, hi, Nat and Guy, hit the like button, everyone. And yes, it really actually does help us out. We're trying to get to 100 likes per stream because it helps it reach new audiences.
Well, thank you for everybody, especially in the morning show. And today we had a few people that signed up for memberships. It really does help overall. So thanks a lot. We don't keep anything behind a paywall, at least not until October 19th. After October 19th, we may make some extra content for members and things like that. But leading up to this October 19th referendum, or founding of a nation, we're going to need every single piece of information and every single stream to be out to the public.
Yes. Michael Drader says it's called shadow banning. Yes, but they were saying something about, actually, funnily enough, memberships and stuff. So who knows? Todd says you have to intentionally do that, lol, the GDP growth. You have to deliberately stifle it. Or make it, or try to make it artificially grow by importing a bunch of people. And growing it artificially. Alberta says you must think first before you move.
Just realize Mark Carney and the mainstream media is literally saying it today. He wants nothing to do with the U.S. He wants to unite with the EU. And if that happens, they're just going to flood all the immigrants from the EU over to Canada. And then they're going to have them do all the natural resource jobs for pennies on the dollar. And they're going to federalize all those natural resources on top of that. I dread to think if Alberta doesn't vote for independence and then they wind up in this trap that even a blind man can see coming. Like,
Todd, hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Smile to Everyday Life, for the $2 super chat saying Alberta beef. Eat it, grow stronger. There's a lot of comments now, so you're gonna have to hold. I'm gonna have to go Ben Shapiro mode.
Well,
not that I like him, but
just take your time because we finished for all the stories today, but we're going to take our time, go through the comments. My neck's hurting anyway. I'm going to get a little bit of coffee.
Oh, great. Oh, I get to talk to you by myself.
Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Let's go back. Go back to me.
Well, you can't. You can't.
I'm sorry for this, you guys. I'm going to leave you with Nat. She has her own show in Spanish, and her whole show is like, I'm going to read one post, and then we're going to do 2 hours of comments, people.
Doesn't that sound
We're not going to do 2 hours of comments. I'm going to have my coffee, then, yeah.
Shut up. Todd says, I don't disrespect my husband, don't worry. Todd says, just like when you're pouring concrete, lol, think before you move. Well, yeah, because then there could be actual consequences there too. Troglodyte says, don't hinder the bioweapons, but for Tamara Lich, they wanted 8 years. Pretty damn obvious what they're doing. Exactly. And the examples are already there. Glenn Gunn says, Andrew is incredible. Watch his True North stuff. He is well needed where he is. Yeah, and we used to watch his True North stuff as well a lot. So, and we're happy that he is that one politician that came up from an independent media sphere and space and was able to get there because he knows, and he knows why he's there too. Dara Robinson says, Rebel News did a poll on the Indigenous on independence and 46% are in favor. Someone tell the fake chiefs. The thing is, the fake chiefs are benefiting too much from carrying the water and the narrative for the federal government. But yes, and it, once you look at it from the paradigm and from the paradigm of the people speaking up against their government, well, a lot of people from First Nations and from tribes don't actually see the benefits that the chiefs do. So in a way, they're also trying to gain independence from that same system that's kept them down and with promises that they never get delivered. Alberta says, yeah, you don't want to be doing that in heavily medicated or hungover for sure. Pouring concrete, yeah, no. Justin GP says, yes, rulings should be lenient towards Canadian citizens, but if you're not a Canadian citizen, yet you shouldn't be allowed the same leniency, in my opinion. Justice should be blind. And again, if the justice isn't blind, then it is not justice anymore. And if you're, I guess, essentially in someone's country, you should be on your best behavior, and the country should be expecting that of you. And that's where I think where we've gone wrong. Todd says, just skateboarding on the deck, listening through the patio door, waiting for the comment reading to come back. See, people like the comments. Thank you, Todd. Please don't fall down from your skateboard. When you get hit in the shin by a skateboard, because I never skateboarded, but I used to work I worked in 2 different high schools in Vancouver, and they permitted skateboards for some reason, and all the time when I had to go talk to the children, sometimes a rogue skateboard would hit me in the shin, and there it was kind of hard to contain my language. Alberta says Indigenous people are all on board. I had a chance to talk to some Native buddies. They figure a majority of the common folk are for it.
Well, and one moment, I'm going to look it up really quick here.
But yes, and as I...
the Chief Billy Morin, we showed a clip of him last night this morning and last night, and he had some interesting comments. I don't know a lot about him. I'm going to do a little bit more research. I'm going to try to get an interview with him. It's going to be interesting, some of his takes, I think.
Todd says, still drunk sometimes. Please don't pour concrete or skateboard while intoxicated. Alba Twitch says, tear it, buddy. But not literally. Alba Twitch says, rare moment of honesty from the RCMP reps. Well, maybe they had to. Todd says, my cousin Quincy is going to be the presidente of the new republic and the general. Start the campaign now. Sean says, First Nations wearing their costumes, taking on the meanies in Alberta, USA, and Russia. It's like they live in some alternative reality, but they already don't think of Albertans as Canadians.
Yeah.
Todd says, we're workaholics, guy. Yes, all of us. Darryl says, the left turds are crying. The data leak invalidates the independent signatures are illegal. In my opinion, most of them are...
They've been crying for 10 years. It's this victim narrative. They just love, they love the taste of their own liberal tears, I guess.
Justin GP says, I hear you. I'm still at work, hour 12, and good on you. Again, as Dallas Brody was saying, Albertans are cut from a different cloth, and they actually know how to work.
Yeah, but it doesn't work in the hard work ethic that's built into every Albertan does not benefit Alberta in a national Canada like this. It will benefit you as your own independent nation.
Mm-hmm. But it's good you're going into your own independent nation with that work ethic. Can't breathe. The Twitch says, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Make Guy a dull boy.
Well, I haven't drank in about 8 years now, quite a long time. So
10 for me.
Working it's nice because I can stay focused.
Yes. Sean says, but Canadians apparently haven't adopted the 24-hour clock and still have a 12-hour clock. Interesting.
Yeah, 12-hour clock. Everybody has a 12-hour clock.
Well, the U.S. and military applications use the 24-hour clock in the U.S.
I don't like the 24-hour clock.
Me either. It's confusing, especially for me that I'm not good with numbers. Troglodyte says, here's Guy. Do you know where that comes from?
I got Nat's little cup here. That's why it has an N on it.
Do you know where that comes from?
Where?
Here's Guy.
Yeah, here's Johnny.
Yeah. See, he did watch the movie. Albert Twitch
no, I was thinking Johnny Carson.
Sure.
You don't even know who Johnny Carson is.
I do know who Johnny Carson is.
Okay.
Albert Twitch says...
okay, there, Sprite.
I remember hating night shift in the winters doing production testing. Not so nice at all when you can't see the high-pressure leaks bursting through the pipeline. I bet, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember working... Because I also worked at a university overnight, but also I did shifts overnight when I was working a 12-hour job. And it was annoying that you'd go to work, it's dark, you come back from work, it's dark, you go to sleep, it's a little bit of daylight, you don't get to see it, and then, yeah, you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Todd says, Alberta will be free. Yes, it will. Sean says, dude, I remember that dude bragging about the Canadian jet fighter. What happened to him?
What jet fighter?
What dude?
I don't remember.
Yeah, what jet fighter?
Oh, just keep going.
Okay. Todd says, where's my brother Cole these days? Probably busy working. Miss that guy, Cole. Yes, I remember Cole. Cole, if you're listening.
He'll be back. He's probably at camp 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out.
James B asks, who were you a tester for to Alba Twitch? Sean says, Guy, try California pizza kitchen pizza. I don't like that one. Have you tried it?
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to have that in Mexico.
They had it. That's where I tried it. I think they already left.
Oh,
they were
okay.
here when I used to live here.
There's this little pizza place that we found that's actually really good and it's extremely cheap.
Yes. It's like actual Neapolitan pizza. Todd says, "Yeah, where's my free benefits? You don't get those, unfortunately." Richard Hayes says, "Freddy's 2-for-1 pizza." And then Glenn Gunn says, "Deep dish pizza from Calgary." Deep dish I do like though. James B says, "I'll never be a fan of Puka 73. No idea what that is. What is that? Okay. Todd says, "That's why I buy my meat at Map and Meats, not the grocery store. I drive by their pastures littered with cattle."
Oh, that's great.
And it's always great to be able to see where your food is coming from. And if you have that opportunity, take advantage of it and also continue to encourage that to happen within society.
Yeah.
Glenn Gunn says, Papa, I almost said Sao, like it's Chinese. Glenn Gunn says, "Papa Tazos for medicine hat." I'm guessing pizza. Todd says, I'm not going to join the EU. Ever, never. Nope, sorry. Nope, not sorry. One day I'll have room for super chats on my credit card. Oh, it's okay. I love reading your comments, Todd. Troglodyte says, "Make sure Alberta has recall laws written in stone."
We need to do a lot of things when we get a free and
Transparency.
independent nation. Like a lot of things need to be looked over here. I mean, we need to reconsider everything from education to transparency within the government to transparency within business. I mean, we got to go over things with a fine-tooth comb. This is an opportunity to show the world how it's done.
Yes. I was going to say something. But you said it. Glenn Gunn says, "You tell him, girlfriend." Oh, I do. But always jokingly. I'm like,
I got to sit back because my neck.
Everything's going to be about his neck today.
Oh my God,
And
shut up,
yesterday
Nat.
too. It's probably from when because I told
It's
you.
probably from you stressing me out all day.
I told you all yesterday, I think. I went into the bedroom and moved the bedspread a little bit so I could get in. And he sprang up like the exorcist and looked at me and started waving his shirt because he thought I was a wolf.
I have a shirt that I put over my eyes and my head because I need to sleep deep. And I thought she was a werewolf because I was having a bad dream.
And I'm pretty sure that's where you hurt your neck because you sprang up like the exorcist.
I was fighting a werewolf. What'd you want me to do, Nat?
Not do that, maybe. Hold on. Albert Twitch says, "Oh, I had to step away a sec. Worked for a few outfits. The last one I worked for was Zubar," because James had asked where Albert Twitch was testing. Sean says, "The managerial elite want to run Canada's economy into the ground, leaving it no choice but to join the EU. It's all by design. It's managed decline."
And at the same time, they want to start taking sovereignty and put it and federalize it. Oh,
Justin GPs, thank you so much for the 279 super chat saying, "Todd says, I love pineapple pizza from Pizza 73. Oh, okay. Thank you. James B.
So when you go to Alberta now, you know where to get it.
James B says, "I started testing back in 99, being a tester for over 20 years, but had to switch when all the crazy stuff started with the jabs."
And a lot of people had to shift
their lives.
Yeah, we
And their
did. I mean,
livelihoods.
everybody that we talked to, it seems like every interview, that was the pinnacle point. They're trying to spin a narrative of now that we're a bunch of radicalists. They got radicalized during that time.
Yeah.
And then it's very interesting because it's the left spinning this narrative and they're trying to spin it as this new uniparty between the conservatives and the liberals, and that the right was radicalized during that time of the jibby jab and trucker convoy, and the left was radicalized through wokeness, and that they're the sane center now. So I think that's going to be the new pitch they're going to try to build.
Faye19 says, thank you both for your support. Alberta Independence, let's go. Yeah.
Thank you and everybody
thank
that
you.
supports not only the channel, but Alberta Independence, because it is needed desperately.
And that speaks up about it.
Yeah.
Too. Albert Twitch says, oh yeah, bad. It's pretty good gig for guys who have some know-how, but not the energy anymore. I bet. Smile to Life Every Day says, get her done. Yes. Todd says, can't wait for Fringe. I'm guessing unacceptable Fringe. Love me some King Fringe. James B says, it'll come back soon. Harmony, hello Harmony, says Dr. Eric Burke mentioned the other day that he wished he had learned this earlier, that eating beef helps your body not get inflamed. Alberta beef. Yeah, and there's a reason why the keto, and I'm not a proponent of the keto diet either. We tried it just to see if it would help your inflammation, and I almost disappeared because I had to eat more calories during the day.
What? I'll be back. I forgot to take my pills today. I take pills for it because I had inflammation and stuff in my back. It's no, that's why everything's hurting so much.
Since yesterday, your neck's been hurting, though.
Yeah, but it's really hurting.
He's losing his head and his back, apparently. Todd says, friend, I'm a fringer, the unacceptable kind. James B says, yep, unhinged fringe? Okay. Sean says, Carney said Canada will have over 100 million people? Yeah. James B says, I can already hear his thoughts on Smith. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're a little bit more, I guess, balanced, you would say.
How do you think he's going to get that 100 million people? The only way to get 100 million people into Canada is if you combine with the EU and open up your doors legally to every immigrant within the EU and give them jobs, probably in the natural resource sector, and just mine it clean for pennies on the dollar.
Sean asks, hold on, Nat, didn't you know that line in The Shining was a reference to Johnny Carson? Really, Nat? And they're slightly younger, I will say.
Well, and then and
I'm from Mexico. All our night and daytime TV shows, I know all of those from way back when, and even before I came along.
Here's the point.
I just don't know the U.S. ones because I'm not from the U.S.
Here's the point, Nat. You were giving me a hard time about it, and I was right.
Sure. He says, boss the plane boss. I'm sure that's a reference to something, but sorry, didn't get it. Todd says, fly on the wall at Nat and the guys gets the best entertainment on earth. I'm sure they do. Again, we bicker a lot, but like with love. Smile to Life Every Day says, so weird to talk about pizza when you're living in Mexico. Well, we don't just eat tacos here.
There's not a lot of good pizza here. I'll just tell you that straight up.
Is.
No, there's not.
There isn't, like, he likes it from Canada.
Canada has a lot of good pizza. Yeah.
Also, he also doesn't like our sushi.
No, sushi here. Never buy sushi. It's like cooked. They cook all the sushi
Not all of it is cooked.
And then stuff that's not, it's very like little. And Mexico City's in the middle of the mountains. It's not by the coast. You're risking food poisoning anytime you eat sushi here.
Not. If you go, we've gone to good sushi. Well, not super good, but like good sushi places.
And it tastes horrible here.
No, it doesn't.
I can go to like dollar sushi in
you
Canada.
bought $2 sushi in Canada and you got food poisoning.
It tasted good though.
But we do some funny combinations here in Mexico with our sushi as well. Harmony says, hard work does not seem to benefit you if you work for the government. Nope, it doesn't. Todd, again, I have people I know from Vancouver that still work for the government, and they're saying that they're getting workload upon workload upon workload because they're having to fire people and they're having to shift people around within whatever sector they're in. So if they're good, so they don't get fired because they're running out of money. Todd says, no floor crossing. No. Sean says, now a good taco pizza can be good. I bet they got the best ones in Mexico. Never really had the opportunity to find one. I'm sure they do that here. They do a bunch of weird combinations here in Mexico. People find preposterous. Abba Twitch, thank you so much for the $10 super chat saying, I donate more, you don't have to. And says, but I'm but a humble greenhouser now. On that note, if you want great plants, go to our greenhouse 10 clicks west of Bowden. There you go. Greenhouse 10 clicks west of Bowden.
Oh, she runs a greenhouse?
I guess, yeah.
Oh,
go, if you want great plants, go to a greenhouse.
Oh,
I have not a green body in my soul, but thank you for the tip.
But I will say, we do know a great gardening channel, by the way.
Yes, it's, what was it called?
That gardening place?
Yeah, that garden place or that gardening place. It's with Culture Casino, whom we're actually going to be interviewing from the WDW Pro show and a bunch of other things he's done. He has his other channel called Culture Casino.
But when we bring him on, we'll talk a little bit of gardening. So you want to watch that. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's from Arizona, and he was talking about different watering techniques. So.
Todd says, nothing worse than a clink in the neck, Nat. That reminds me of Robin Williams.
I got a gnat in my neck.
Reminds me of Robin Williams from Aladdin. 1,000 years, they're sure going to give you a crick in the neck.
Okay,
I can't
you're
do
not
it.
very funny.
I know. I didn't say I was.
You're no fringe. Oh, we got to finish up
I
here.
was saying Robin Williams.
We had a few more minutes.
That's Robin Williams, the genie.
Wait, let's try to get through the comments. So then we're gonna go to RUMBLE. We got a lot of stories because I moved all the ones from the afternoon show to tonight's show.
James B says, no parties, period, independent only, caught in collusion, fired immediately. That gets my vote 100%. Yes, exactly. Todd says, thanks for the super chat, Justin GP. You liar, lol. Yeah, Todd does not like pizza with pineapple on it. I do. Justin GP says, gotcha to Todd. Todd says, I see what you did there. I'll be super chat one day soon. Appreciate you, man. No, not needed. Edward says, Sasquatch likes pineapple.
Yeah. And we just appreciate everybody.
You know Sasquatches like pineapple?
Everybody knows Sasquatches eat everything, including dogmen. They're mortal enemies.
Dogmen?
Yeah, you never heard of a dogman?
Well,
no, not a werewolf. It's a dogman. It's different than a werewolf.
How is it different?
It doesn't turn back to a human. It's a dogman.
So it's just a dog.
No, it stands on two legs and it's about 8 foot tall. And they actually live in northern Alberta. There's supposed to be a lot of them up there.
Okay, well, I might leave you with them over there. Todd says, well, no S, no wonder, dude with guy. Don't forget, man, your pills.
Yeah, I know.
Harmony says, we for sure, guys, show the world how to write a new constitution.
Yeah.
Yes. Todd says, that's a lot of roughnecks to train.
I feel like a roughneck today.
Yeah, literally. James B says, Fantasy Island. Harmony says, I wish I had started stretching. I keep telling him. Todd says, I have doubts in your pizza there, Nat. Lol, with Guy on that one. That's fine. I eat my weird combinations and I'm happy. And that way he doesn't eat them. Sean says, the plane is a reference to Fantasy Island, a show on ABC in the early 80s. Again, before my time, not my country, I'm sorry. Smile to Life Every Day says, watch John today. He mentioned an Alberta Independence convoy happening from Red Deer to Sylvian Lake starting noon tomorrow.
Oh,
so there you go,
fantastic.
starting noon tomorrow. Independence convoy from Red Deer to Sylvian Lake. Thank you for that. Jesse TP says, awesome. Chocolate says, sushi gives you these worms. Yes. I like sushi though. Our sushi, not Canadian. Well, I do like Vancouver sushi, but not that much. But Twitch says, oh, do tell us more. And also says all about that community support. James B says, pass the Twin Lakes toward Red Lodge about the greenhouse. Smile to Life Every Day says, oh, hold on. We'll come and check it out. Todd says, Fringe on the TV, not in the guy on the laptop. Thank you. Oh, yeah, because it's starting. Hold on. Let me finish all of them, and then we'll go over to Aryo and Bailey. Harmony says, meditate, guy, relax, and stretch. He doesn't know how to.
It's hard to relax in this house, I'll tell you. We got a French bulldog on one side of me and a gnat on the other side of me.
But Twitch says, awesome. My sister's doing the most effort. She'll appreciate your visit. Great. And maybe we can stop by when we go.
Yeah.
Again, not a green bone or finger in my body, but yes. Chocolate says,
Sound like you said, not a green boner in my body. Is that what you said? That's what it sounded like. We're not on Rumble yet, Nat.
not a green bone in my body or finger, because people say you have the green finger.
Sure.
I think, I don't know.
You're real red right now.
I don't even know what I'm saying. Chocolate says, Dead Sea Tupperware, still good. Lol, Williams was great in Aladdin. Yes, he was. And I have no idea why they chose Will Smith to go try to do it, and he could never. Todd says, Guy Dogman. Lol, Guy Dogman, love it. Let's go. Chocolate says, Jojo the dog face boy.
No, I don't.
I have no idea what people are talking about.
Nat doesn't
Did
know
I enter a new dimension?
Yeah, Nat doesn't know anything about the other dimensions.
I don't want to. I'm happy with this one. Todd says, I'm sure I've seen one out there, Guy Dogman.
Yep. There's a lot of people on these native reserves that talk about them on, because I watch scary stories that are based on true stories.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Okay.
Darren Robinson says, when Alberta declares independence, I'm going to drop to my knees and thank God. I think all of us are going to. Sean says, barbecue chicken pizza is the best. See, I can agree with you on that. But put pineapple on it.
Okay, let's head over to RUMB.
Todd says, gotta go get me some French on LOL. And Todd says, later, skaters. Again, please be careful if you are skating. But yes, we'll see you tomorrow.
We're going to go over to RUMB.
Oh, yes, we're going. God. We're coming over to RUMBLE now. There's a 30-second wait screen. Thank you so much for everybody.
Quite a few stories over there. If anybody's going to go watch the Fringe, tell them we said hi, and we'll see you on tomorrow at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. tomorrow if you don't come over to Rumble now. Adios.
30-second wait screen, then we'll pop up over there. Thank you so much to everybody that super chatted and that has joined us a member as well. Again, we open memberships. If you would like to support us, there's nothing behind a paywall. It's just to help us out. Okay, we'll see you over at RUMBLE.
Adios.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Hello, Rumble. Yes, I will